Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com. The Falcons continuing play today at the Coach K Memorial Tournament as they take on the Reno Knights. Falcons enter play 32-3 overall on the season. The Knights enter 30-10 on the year. A couple of powerhouses in their respective divisions meeting today at Harry and David Field. We're going to step aside for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to today's starting lineups and get ready for first pitch on MyBasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN. Expert care when it matters most.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love.
Josh Eldridge and Walter Hartley welcoming you back to Harry and David Field as we enter this game. Already in progress, Carson Sims in an 0-2 count against Danny Kasheshian for the Reno Knights as we get things underway today at the Coach K Classic. It's Carson Sims, the leadoff hitter for the Falcons. Corbin Hamilton bats second. He's in left field today. Jacoby Takini, the catcher, bats third, followed by Ian Meyer, the first baseman, hitting cleanup. Sims lifts one deep to right center field, but the center fielder, DeConte, moving over. He makes the catch, and there's one gone in the top of the first inning. After Meyer in the order, batting fifth is Colin Takini. He's at third base today. P.J. Safford, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Batting seventh is Trustin Thomas. The right fielder, Ty Teeters, is at second base, hitting eighth. And batting ninth is Harley Hoblet in center field. And again, Danny Kasheshian on the hill today for the Reno Knights. He drops in a curveball, called a strike there against Corbin Hamilton. Reno in powder blue uniforms today. Knights written across their chest in red cursive text and red caps today. Falcons in their road red uniforms and gray pants as Corbin Hamilton pulls a line drive into left field and a one-out base hit for the Falcons. It brings up Jacoby Takini.
Yeah, Danny Kasheshian leads the team in innings pitched, and he also has an ERA of 2.78. So definitely a player that the Knights turn to a lot.
Also leads the team in wins, 6-0 record on the season on the hill for Reno this year as Takini gets ready to step in his first look at Kasheshian. Takini singled twice yesterday. He finished 2 for 3 in that game, but boy, has he been surging as of late. The team leader in a number of the slugging categories, including slugging percentage, 676. He also leads the team in extra base hits and RBIs, 61 runs batted in this year. They check on Corbin Hamilton a couple of times over there at first. He's liable to go a long stride over there for the 6'4" Hamilton, but not too big of a lead. As the first pitch comes home to Takini, it's called a strike over the plate, just above the belt, and Takini falls behind here 0-1. Takini, even though he only had 2 hits yesterday, reached base 3 times, had an RBI when he walked in the second inning, walked with the bases loaded as another move over to Hamilton, and again Corbin's back safely. Takini was replaced on the base paths each time, used Chase Barrett as a courtesy runner, but each time around the base paths, Barrett scored a run, so certainly adding to the Falcons' big win yesterday against the Salem Dodgers. It was a 12-1 win against the Salem Dodgers for the Falcons yesterday, who defeated a state tournament-bound AAA team. Of course, the Falcons, the single-A defending state champions in 2025, and the Reno Knights, a good program in their own right. As Kasheshian comes set with the 1-1, offers up a curveball that misses low, 2-1 the count to Takini. The Knights, the 2024 Nevada State champions at the AAA class. So Good couple of programs here facing off today in Medford. The smoke isn't as harsh as it was yesterday, although still might play a little bit of a factor. But certainly when you can see the manor over the right field fence, that's typically a good sign. When it's bad like it was yesterday, man, it was got a lot of text messages. How are these guys still playing this game? But glad that it's cleared out a little bit today. Counts 3-1 right now to the Falcons catcher. On deck is Ian Meyer. Aboard at first is Corbin Hamilton, still only just getting started today as the Falcons take on the Reno Knights. Another move over to Hamilton at first, and again, not much of a lead over there, so he's pretty much able to just fall over to first base. We'll introduce you to the defense for the Reno Knights after this 3-1 pitch to Jacoby Takini. Set on the hill is Kasheshian. And the pitch home. Takini hits one in the air, right field, foul territory, and out of play on the grassy hill behind the third base dugout. Around the diamond for the Knights today, Hunter is catching, Adrian at third, Sala at short, Licata at second, and Sawyer Sala at first, Matthews in left, DeConte in center, and Riley in right today for the Knights. Putting up a good battle here is Takini. He's in a full count. Jacoby waits as Kasheshian comes set. Now the delivery is a line drive into right field and a single for Takini. Rounding second, headed for third is Hamilton. And the ever-important move from first to third. Corbin legs it out, puts runners at the corners here for the cleanup hitter, Ian Meyer.
Nice piece of opposite hitting from Takini. That's really what allowed Corbin to get around to third. And now a man 90 feet away from scoring. If Ian Meyer can place one well into a gap, it'll for sure score Corbin Hamilton.
By the way, with Chase Barrett now running at first, you got some speed out there for Ian Meyer. Yesterday, Ian, in the win against the Dodgers, had an RBI triple in the first inning. He supplemented that with an RBI single in the second and added another single in the fourth inning of that one. As we've got a meeting on the mound for the Reno coaching staff and their pitcher. Want to, at the top of the broadcast, recognize one of our sponsors on the broadcast and also one of the great supporters of the Klamath Falls Falcons, and that's Klamath Falls Honda Subaru. Of course, they've sponsored our broadcasts for the last 6 or 7 seasons, doing all the sports in the Klamath Basin. But recently, Subaru and Honda stepping up to help the Falcons get to state. Don't know if many fans know, but the Falcons bus broke down couple of games ago. They have a fuel pump issue, so they're not able to use the bus to get to state next week. But Klamath Falls Honda Subaru stepped up, donated a couple of vans so the team can make it to the coast next week and compete for a state championship. So quite literally, the trip would not be possible without the folks at Klamath Falls Honda Subaru. So I want to give a big shout out to Rob Cedar and the gang for stepping up this time, much like they did last year to help the Falcons get to regionals. All right, conference on the mound is concluded. Ian Meyer bats now with runners at the corners and just one out in the top of the first inning against the Reno Knights. Barrett takes off on the first pitch, and as that curveball misses in the dirt, Barrett is in safely at second. And so now 2 men in scoring position for Ian Meyer, a guy who certainly stuffs the stat sheet for the Falcons. Team leader in average, hits .524 entering play today and has 48 RBIs on the season, good for second most on the ball club.
Right field playing pretty deep, almost to the warning track.
Pitch to Meyer, inside curveball, fouled it off. Count is even, 1-1 to Meyer. Colin Takini due up next. Dimensions here at Harry and David Field, a bit deeper than they are back at home at Kiger Stadium. 325 down either line. It's 407 in the gaps in right and left center field, and then 400 to straightaway center field. Meyer takes a knee-high pitch over the plate for a strike, and he falls behind 1-2. Like I said a moment ago, Meyer came up clutch in a situation just like this yesterday against the Dodgers. A first-inning triple helped the Falcons get on the board, and he's faced with another early opportunity today against the Knights. As Kasheshian comes set, but then steps off ahead of the 1-2 pitch. Barrett takes a modest lead off his second. No one holding him there. The middle infield for the Knights, content to let him lead off there, but a line drive back to the pitcher. Kasheshian gloves it and then turns around and throws out Barrett, who tried to take off a little bit early. So a 1-6 double play will get the Knights out of the first inning. Falcons get 2 base hits, but wind up scoreless. We head to the bottom half of the first inning next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local community engaged.
Bottom of the first inning, still scoreless between the Klamath Falls Falcons and the Reno Knights today at Harry and David Field in Medford. Let's introduce you to the starting 9 for the Reno Knights. Leading off is their center fielder, Daniel DeConte. Hitting second is the shortstop, Colin Sala. Troy Riley's in right field batting third, followed by Sawyer Sala, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Jackson Matthews is in left field hitting fifth. Danny Kasheshian is the pitcher batting sixth. Donovan Licata is the second baseman batting seventh. Hayden Hunter catches and bats eighth, and batting ninth is Pike Adrian, the third baseman for the Knights. On the hill today for the Falcons is one Hayden Poor. Hayden is making his sixth start of the summer and his 12th overall appearance. He carries a 4-1 record through 25 and a third innings pitched. Hayden has an ERA of 2.76 entering play today. 39 strikeouts is second most on the team coming into play today, although 16 walks is also second most on the team. So if Poor can stay in the zone and throw strikes today, he'll have some good success and looking to stay active today against the Reno Knights. Daniel DeConte gets ready to step in here, and he takes a pitch outside. The count is 1-0.
Daniel DeConte leads the team in batting average for the Knights at .427. He also leads the team in triples with 6.
Takes a pitch upstairs. The count 2-0 here to DeConte. The Knights coming off a win in their most recent game today against the Hooks team here from Southern Oregon. That pitch misses down, and I believe it was their 18U team that Reno was playing earlier today. And doubleheader action for them this afternoon as they play their back end against Klamath Falls Falcons. Right now, the 3-0 pitch is going to miss upstairs, and 4 straight misses for Poor to start the ball game. Walks Daniel DeConte, and it brings up Colin Sala. Sala bats here from the right side. The shortstop for the Knights bats with a runner aboard and nobody out.
Colin Sala, a .375 hitter for the Knights. He's got a slugging percentage of .455.
Outfield shades a little bit to the left, but still a pretty big gap out in right center field as Sala shows bunt, lays one down the third base line. Takini charging, but he can't come up with it. And so that is going to be a base hit, I believe, for Sala, and it is. So DeConte advances to second. Infield bunt single there for Sala as Takini tried to make a good play on that one, charging in, but couldn't quite bring it up. Let's introduce you to the defense here for the Falcons. Jacoby Takini is their catcher. Colin Takini's at third. Carson Sims at short with Ty Teeters at second. Ian Meyer plays first. Corbin Hamilton's in left. Harley Hoblet in center. And Trustin Thomas is in right. So 2 men on to start the ball game for the Knights, and it brings up Troy Riley. First pitch to Riley. He showed bunt for a moment, and then stealing third, DeConte there with nobody covering. Colin Takini had started to charge in on a bunt, and then no one was left to cover third as DeConte took it basically for free. So now runners at the corners, and Sala an opportunity to try and reclaim that spot out at second. That was called a ball, by the way, as Riley pulled back his bunt attempt in time. Poor comes set, takes a look at the runner at first, and now motions home. This one is popped up but foul off to the left side, and there's a strike on Troy Riley. Count is even to him. Riley, one of the better hitters on this Reno team, batting .388 for the Knights.
Yeah, he's got 48 RBI.
Yeah, leads the team, I believe, in that category. And an early opportunity at one here.
He also has 6 home runs.
The 1-1 from Hayden Poor. Showing bunt again was Riley, but this time doesn't pull it back in time, and the count's a ball and 2 strikes as Poor hit the outside spot. Sawyer Sala is on deck for the Knights. Middle infield for the Falcons, Sims and Teeters cheating over for a double play, but that means there's a big old gap on the right side of the infield with, of course, Meyer holding the runner at first. They move over to first, but back safely is Sala. got to be careful about DeConte at third. He's already shown some keen aggressiveness on the base paths, even in just this first inning. And so, got to be wary of him over there. As Poor, with 2 strikes on the hitter, Riley, comes set and moves over to first again. This time, though, Sala doesn't even have to dive back to get there safely. It doesn't look like he's going to be on the move, although with 2 strikes, he might be getting a head start. Here's the pitch. It is swung on and missed. Poor pumps the fastball by Riley, gets him swinging for the first out in the first inning, and it brings up Sawyer Sala. Goes up and in with that fastball. Good location from Poor if he can continue to hit that against those right-handed hitters today, as it brings up the left-handed hitting Sawyer Sala.
Sawyer Sala, third on the team in batting average with .410 and slugging percentage of .700.
Looks like he's also one of the few guys that never leaves the lineup. He's played in all 41 of the Knights games so far this season. Availability is the best ability you can have as a baseball player, and Sala fits the bill. Here's the first pitch to him. It misses up and away. Count is 1-0.
Sala also leads the team in on-base percentage with at .583. So 58% of the time, almost 60% of the time, he gets on base.
Getting on base here would load him up. Poor's trying to get him to maybe roll over one here. The pitch is going to miss low, and Sala at first, Colin Sala, thought about taking off for second on that pitch in the dirt, but then thinking better of it. Jacoby Tacchini, the Iron Man catcher for the Falcons, knocking that one down, disallowing anybody from advancing, but the count is 2-0 to the hitter, Sawyer Sala. Poor set once more. Middle infield still ready for a double play ball if they need to, as this pitch is waved at and missed. I think that was the 2-seamer from Hayden as Sala swung over the top of it. Jackson Matthews is who's up next for the Reno Knights today. Bottom of the first inning, still scoreless, but with 1 out and runners at the corners, the Knights flirting with the opening run of the ball game. Poor set again. And the pitch. Runner takes off from first, and I believe the pitch hit the batter anyway. So a dead ball. The runner's going to have to go back to third, and it will just load the bases for Jackson Matthews. And luckily for the Falcons, they kind of get away with one there, because if the ball is not dead and the play's not called dead there, 1 run for sure scores, and maybe even 2 with the way Sala was moving. So
I was watching that play develop, and I was like, I was thinking that base runner is going to go, and no one was covering second, and Tacchini threw anyways, and no one was there.
Yeah, but with a hit batsman, it all gets wiped away, and now Poor working against Jackson Matthews, the left fielder today for the Reno Knights. Bats here from the right side. Pitch, a curveball that Poor drops in for a strike. Caught the outside third of the zone, about knee high. Good pitch there by Poor to get ahead. The pitcher, Danny Kasheshian, is due up next for Reno.
Matthews, a .250 hitter for the Knights. He's played 24 of their 30 games, or 32 games, excuse me.
That one is swung over the top of. Count is 0-2 for Jackson Matthews. Leading off at third, DeConte. Colin Sala at second. Sawyer Sala at first. Not terribly large leads anywhere. They're relying on Matthews to punch one through and get 1 or maybe 2 runs across here, as Poor misses off the plate away. Might have been a touch low, but a good take there from Matthews. In a 2-strike count, that's a tough pitch to lay off. So now he gets to at least see 1 more, as Jacoby Tacchini, the catcher for the Falcons, relays the sign from Craig Connor in the dugout. Poor comes set and is ready to deliver the 1-2. It's an off-speed pitch that Matthews chases in the dirt. Second strikeout of this inning for Hayden Poor, and now just 1 out away from escaping a first-inning jam. Danny Kasheshian getting ready to bat now, so pitcher-off-pitcher here in the bottom of the first inning. Kasheshian with a chance to give his team the lead. And going to have the third base coach have a quick chat with Kasheshian ahead of this at-bat. But with 2 outs and the bases loaded, not sure exactly what the Knights might have drawn up, unless they think Kasheshian can leg out something, a little bit of small ball perhaps, but really you just rely on Kasheshian here to come up with a base knock.
Yeah, Kasheshian, a .327 hitter for the Knights. He's got a slugging percentage of .491 and an on-base percentage of .422. What jumped out to me was that he only has 6 walks in 27 games.
Guy who likes to swing the stick, but here he gets ahead 1-0. Again, there's nowhere to put Kasheshian here, so Poor's going to have to come in the zone and try to find a way to get Kasheshian. Set again is Hayden. The 1-0 misses high. 2-0 to Kasheshian. If the inning continues, Donovan Licata is due up next for the Reno Knights. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Poor is set with the 2-0. Kicks and delivers. Finds a strike that time. Fastball outer third, just below the belt. Kasheshian seemingly taken all the way on that one. And Poor battles back into this at-bat. 2 balls and a strike. Decent lead off of first here for Sala, and really the lead grows around the bases. Off of second, Colin Sala has a healthy lead as well. The pitch in will miss low, and probably a touch inside against Danny Kasheshian. And now, in a 3-1 count, Kasheshian's certainly going to get a pitch to hit here.
Yeah, Kasheshian has only struck out 11 times this season in 27 games.
He's got 2 strikes on him here. He's going to try to put up a good fight against Poor. Bases loaded in a 3-2 count in a tie ball game in just the bottom of the first inning. If this is the fireworks we're lined up for the rest of the day, it's going to be a fun day of baseball.
I hope it's a close one. I hope it's not a 5-inning game.
Yeah, I want to see both of these teams get challenged a bit today. So far, it's been entertaining. We'll see if Poor can get himself out of this one, but unfortunately misses low with the fastball. And a walk will score a run. Daniel DeConte touches home. Colin Sala to third. Sawyer Sala to second. And Kasheshian aboard, also credited with an RBI after the walk. It brings up Donovan Licata. Also, a courtesy runner coming in here for Reno. It's going to be number 11, Will Schur. So Schur aboard at first for Kasheshian, afforded that courtesy as the pitcher, and Donovan Licata digging in to the right-handed batter's box for the Knights. Again, the bases remain loaded, still 2 outs, but now the Knights have a 1-run lead in the bottom of the first. Poor is set once more, and the pitch home is a sharp grounder to the third base side, but foul, and Poor gets ahead here 0-1. Hayden Hunter is due up next for the Knights should the inning continue.
Licata, a .293 hitter. For the Knights, he's got a slugging percentage of .317 and an on-base percentage of .362.
Pitch on the way from Poor as he comes set. Curveball misses up. Not enough bite on that one. And the count is even to Donovan Licata. Inning started with a walk. Sala, who now stands at third, had a single, but Poor altogether 3 free passes, whether by a hit by pitch or a walk here in this first inning. And after he misses the 1-1 pitch low, Jacoby Takini is going to go out and have a quick chat with Hayden. Maybe try to help him get back within his mechanics here as the base is loaded. A lot of pressure on him in this first inning. As they chat things over, want to remind you today's broadcast on MyBasin.com is brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza and by Sage Credit Union on Washburn Way. Couldn't be doing these broadcasts with you all season long without the help of our corporate sponsors on MyBasin.com.
Yeah, it's a warm one today here in Medford. It's about 93 degrees right now. So the ball might have a little bit more pop.
2-1, hit in the air to the right side, but well foul. You know, that's something the boys were actually talking about when I was down there. They said, you know, just exchanging some pleasantries. How you guys doing? How's, you know, how are we feeling? All this stuff. A couple of them said, you know, I feel a lot less tired today. The smoke isn't out there. It's a little bit warmer today, so we're hoping the ball jumps off the bat. 2 different guys said that to me in the dugout.
Wow.
So that's what they're hoping for today. Poor in a 2-strike count, misses high to Licata with the curveball, and again, a full count, 3-2 with the bases loaded and 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, and the Knights lead the Falcons 1-0.
Yeah, you know, we just talked about the ball jumping off the bat, but the wind is blowing in from the outfield right now.
3-2, ground ball out towards short. Sims is unable to come up with it cleanly, and a run scores on the play. The Knights lead now 2-0, and everybody else advances a station. Sawyer Sala to third, and then Schur to second. Licata aboard at first. And this will bring up Hayden Hunter for the Knights.
That's back-to-back full counts for Hayden Poor.
Hasn't been able to find that put-away pitch just yet, though, but he's got a chance against Hunter. By the way, that Ground ball off the bat of Licata ruled a single, and so getting the RBI on that one as well. So 2 runs home this half. Aboard at third is Sawyer Sala, and again, Schurer at second. Licata at first. The first pitch home was ruled a ball to Hayden Hunter, 1-0. Hunter, the 8th batter to hit this inning against Hayden Poor, hits one foul off to the right side. Count is a ball and a strike to the catcher, Hayden Hunter.
Battle of the Haydens. Hunter, a .267 hitter for the Knights. He's also got a slugging percentage of .267, although his on-base percentage is a lot higher at .500.
Shows bunt, pulls back in time. Count is 2-1 here to Hunter. Pike Adrian is due up next for the Knights, starting third baseman for Reno and the 9th hitter in the order. Poor's got a couple of strikeouts so far, but again, has equaled that in free passes or more, as this one is lifted to the right side. Trustin Thomas coming near the foul line, but he's able to make the catch on the run and end the inning, but not before the Knights score 2 on 2 base hits in the inning, and they leave the bases loaded. They carry a 2-run lead to the top half of the second against the Falcons next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Rob, why do you think so many families choose Subaru here?
Because they're built for real life here in Southern Oregon.
All-wheel drive, safety, and room for everything from kids to camping gear.
And we've got Subarus in stock, ready to go when you are.
Plus, we're locally owned and deeply involved in the community.
When you buy from us, you buy from a dealership that supports Klamath Falls. Stop by and say hi.
Friendly, local, and easy to work with. That's us at Klamath Falls Subaru, right on Washburn Way.
Five, 6, and 7 in the Falcons' order to try to even things up here in the top of the second inning, a game in which the Reno Knights lead the Falcons 2-0. Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford, Trustin Thomas due up this half against Danny Kasheshian, who got himself into a little bit of trouble in the first inning, but was saved on a comebacker line drive that turned into a double play. The Falcons had got runners at second and third with only one out, but Meyer hit a comebacker, and, well, that allowed the Knights to escape that first inning jam. Colin Tacchini trying to reapply the pressure to Kasheshian here to lead off the top of the second inning.
Yeah, that last Ian Meyer out, it really popped off the bat. Kasheshian, I'll give him his props for that. It was just unfortunate for the Falcons.
Trying to find a way to put his back up against the wall again here in the second. Kasheshian takes a deep breath and then steps off. And maybe we had our wires crossed with the signal, but I think we're ready. Hunter actually emerged from behind home plate, took a couple of steps towards his dugout, but it looks like we're ready to go. First pitch to Colin Tacchini is going to drop beneath the zone. The count is 1-0 to Colin, who yesterday was 1 for 4. He scored a run when he reached on an error in the second inning, and he also singled in the third to go along with a fly out and a ground out. And now, I think there may be an equipment issue for Reno, it looks like, maybe a pitch comm problem.
The thing that I like about this game is that these are two teams that maybe don't know each other as well as other teams that we've played this season. You know, you play the same teams every season. You get to know each other a little bit. You get to know the players on the team, their strengths, their weaknesses. But now it's just two really good ball clubs playing each other that don't necessarily know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So it's just who can play the best.
Yeah, I like that too. It's one of the fun things about these tournaments like this, and like the Falcons took last year going to Alaska, getting to play teams that you don't normally play. You're exactly right. There's something to be said about it because, you know, enough trips to the Rogue Valley and Grants Pass, it just kind of becomes business as usual. But today, playing a recent AAA state champion, it's anything but. Count is 1-1 to Colin Tacchini. Here's the offering on the way. Misses upstairs, 2-1.
The outfield's still playing a little deep. Honestly, I think where the center fielder is right there might be just a couple steps shy of where the fence would be at Kiger.
Well, he's playing fairly straight away as a ground ball to left field. He's playing pretty deep out there in left, but a ground ball single for Tacchini. Kind of an optical illusion a little bit. But I think when teams watch the Falcons, if you are able to watch the Falcons, they have a lot of pop off the bat. We saw, I think it was the Grants Pass Nuggets who played them real shallow a couple games ago, got punished for it. So if there's any scouting report on the Falcons, you know they can punch it into the gap. So playing deep, I think, makes a little bit more sense against them, especially with the bases empty.
Do you think they have a scouting report of the Falcons?
You know, if a team does their homework, I suppose they could, but certainly not everybody does. As a fly ball to the right side, P.J. Safford falls behind in the count 0-1. But I think you come to these tournaments and you kind of treat it exactly like how you said, where we're playing opponents we don't typically play. We're just trying to get out and play our best baseball, and so let's just do exactly that. Worry about our own tendencies and our own things that we need to work on, as it looks like we've got a meeting out there on the mound for the Reno Knights. This is the second time in as many innings that we've had a conference on the hill for Reno, but it gives us a quick opportunity to remind you today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance. They use a modern and research-backed approach to physical therapy to ensure you see both a reduction in pain and enhanced mobility, getting you back to peak levels of optimal health and wellness. Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance has been treating athletes of all ages since 2020. All right, no changes here for the Knights. Kasheshian remains in the ball game. A leadoff single for the Falcons gives Safford a chance with nobody out in an 0-1 count. Safford in the ball game yesterday was 2 for 3, including a 2 RBI single in the second inning. He would also score in that second inning. Pitch on the way to Safford. He shows bunt and lays one down in front of the pitcher's mound. Kasheshian comes off the hill, up with the baseball, and throws on to first. And Safford lays down the bunt, but it allows Tacchini to advance into scoring position, sacrificing himself there for Trustin Thomas. An opportunity here for the Falcons. Thomas with another RBI yesterday in the win against the Salem Dodgers. It came in the second inning. He also walked and popped out in that ball game. Thomas starting here in right field today for the Falcons, getting his first chance against Kasheshian. Here's the offering. Off speed and misses up. Count is 1-0 to Thomas. Licata, the second baseman, doing his best to keep Colin Tacchini honest over there in scoring position. As we check the numbers for Trustin so far this year, batting .299 is the Falcons' right fielder. The 1-0 pitch on the way from Kasheshian is a bouncer towards the left side, through and past the diving glove of Sala into left. And a one-out single puts runners at the corners here for Ty Teeters.
His batting average just went up above 300.
Yeah, for the first time, I think, this year, and that's by virtue of him really coming alive over these last couple of games, but certainly the last couple of weeks here for the Falcons. That now extends his hitting streak, by the way, to 6 consecutive games for Trustin Thomas, dating back to the July 13th game against the Cavemen. I think, obviously 6 games with a base hit. You could say his bat really woke up then, but his batting average has climbed up 400, or I suppose 40 points in that span as Teeters takes a pitch upstairs. Count is 1-0 with Tacchini standing at third, Thomas aboard at first. And the count 1-0 to Ty Teeters. Yesterday, Teeters was 1 for 2 in the ball game, singled in the second and scored a run. He also struck out and walked in that game. Small lead off of first for Thomas. The pitch to Teeters is called a strike, a late steal and a bad throw down, but now they're trying to get the runner scoring from third, and they do. They hose down Tacchini, a little bit late trying to take home on that one, and they gun down the lead runner. There's 2 outs in the inning. Now for Trustin, he is safe at second, but now needing a base hit to get a run for the Falcons.
That had to be a designed play.
Do you think the base running or the throw down?
The throw down.
Well, the throw down from Hunter was way left of the bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
what I think.
Sala collected it well and then threw home, so maybe you're right. Lead off a second is Trustin Thomas. Not much of a lead out there. Licata is still over there trying to keep him close to the bag, but now the pitch home to Teeters misses up, and the count, I believe, is 3-1? 2-1. After Teeters is Harley Hoblet for the Falcons. Aggressiveness not paying off on that most recent attempt for Klamath Falls. Aggressiveness on the base paths has been a marquee for them this season, but extinguished here in the top of the second inning. Teeters needing a base hit to try to push across the opening run. Thomas leads off a second, and the pitch home is in the dirt. 3-1 the count now to Ty Teeters, who on the season is batting .408 for the Falcons. 18 runs batted in for him this season. Kasheshian back out on there on the rubber. Gets the signal in from Hunter. Now comes set. Kasheshian kicks and delivers, and Teeters takes a strike 2 right around the knees. It looked to be an off-speed pitch of some kind from Kasheshian.
Looked kind of low.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe a changeup that dipped low at the very end, but regardless, called a strike against Teeters. Now the count is full, and Kasheshian only one strike away from getting out of another jam in the second inning. But this time, Teeters lines a base hit into right field. They hold up Thomas at third as the throw-in was cut off by Licata, and runners back at the corners for the Falcons, and Harley Hoblet at the plate. 3 base hits this inning for the Falcons. They're spraying the ball all over the field. 5 hits on the ball game. And again, a runner at third for the third time this ball game, trying to push across that first run, often the hardest to find. Hoblet steps in, a .344 hitter.
The Cuban Missile.
He donned that nickname himself. I'll give it to him full time if he can come up with a base hit here.
Ooh, okay. That's high stakes.
It is, yeah. 1-0 the count to Hoblet as the curveball drifted away. Ty Teeters almost no lead off of first. He's taken like a step and a half off the bag. Here's the pitch. This one is lofted, right side, playable in foul territory for Sala, and he gloves it near the Falcons' dugout, and that will get the Knights out of the second inning. They carry a 2-run lead to the bottom half of the second next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN. Expert care when it matters most.
At Pacific Power, we can't predict the future, but we're preparing for every possibility. With more extreme weather year-round, we're investing in an energy system ready for what comes next. By strengthening the grid, using smart infrastructure, and drawing from our diverse energy resources, we're not just powering today. We're designing an energy system that's built to weather tomorrow. Energy that makes powering your greatness possible.
9-1-2 due up for the Reno Knights here in the bottom half of the second inning against the Klamath Falls Falcons, a game in which the Knights lead 2-0. It's Pike Adrian, Daniel DeConte, and Colin Sala due up against Hayden Poor. Lead off this inning. The Knights scored 2 runs on 2 hits and left the bases loaded in the first inning. Poor got himself into some trouble, allowing 2 walks and 1 hit batsman in that inning. But he also collected 2 strikeouts. So you kind of see both sides of the coin for Hayden Poor there in that first inning. We'll see if he's able to even things out here in the second. So he gets things going against Pike Adrian. First one misses upstairs. Count is 1-0 to Adrian. All right.
Pike Adrian, a .273 hitter for the Knights. He's got a slugging percentage of .323 and an on-base percentage of .393.
Takes a pitch knee high on the inside part of the plate. Count is even now to Pike Adrian. And again, DeConte is on deck for Reno. Here's the offering from Poor in the 1-1 count. Goes off speed, but again misses upstairs, 2-1.
If we're talking about strikeouts and walks, Pike Adrian has 18 strikeouts and 9 walks.
Pitch on the way from Poor, misses upstairs, counts 3-1. Missed up quite a bit here in this at-bat has Poor. Missed up with the slider, that time missed up with the fastball. Here's the 3-1, also high, but this time Adrian offers up at it and fouls it off. Might have been ball 4 had he been taking, but a chance now for Poor to come back into that at-bat, try to set down Pike Adrian. By the way, Salem Dodgers have arrived at the stadium. Action continues tonight here in Medford as the Mustangs of Medford take on the Salem Dodgers in the nightcap this evening. Poor misses just off the plate away on the fastball. Adrian works a walk to lead off the inning, and we go back to the top of the night's order for Daniel DeConte. Not a bad pitch there by Poor. Just missed the outside part of the plate with the fastball. Really good take that time by Pike Adrian with 2 strikes. That's a hard pitch to lay off, but a nice job there to earn a leadoff walk and bring up DeConte, who walked his first time up to lead off the first inning. He would later score in that inning.
Was DeConte a lefty last time, or is he a switch hitter?
He was batting left-handed, I believe, last time. Move over to first. Back safely is Adrian. There's a couple of lefties in this night's order, and provides kind of a different look, whereas most of the teams that the Falcons face all year long are lucky to have even one left-handed hitter in their order. So different look for Poor, but still got to throw strikes all the same. Lead off of first for Adrian, pretty substantial, and a check swing. Maybe that was a bunt attempt for DeConte, a late one at that. But either way, it popped foul, and the count's 0-1.
It looked kind of similar to the form that a lot of softball girls do when they just tap it and run.
Kind of a slap hit.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to accomplish in baseball than it is in softball, with that ball coming at you, a lot smaller of a ball. If you can do it, look like Ichiro out there, but now looks like DeConte showing bunt straight away, and they move over to first, and Adrian is back safely. After Daniel DeConte in the order, it's Colin Sala due up for the Reno Knights. As DeConte digs back into the left-handed batter's box, the corners for the Falcons in protecting bunt as DeConte shows bunt, but Poor misses the pitch low, and the count is even, even to Daniel DeConte, a ball and a strike. Infield for the Falcons, like I said, playing in on the corners. The outfield in a couple of steps against DeConte. Here's the offering from Poor, and again, a pitch that misses above the zone. Count is 2-1 to DeConte. Want to remind fans that want to watch the Falcons one more time at home this season. The Falcons return home tomorrow for their final regular season game against the Central Point Comets. Typically a doubleheader in league, but that game's been moved to a single 9-inning game with a 6 o'clock start. Hold that thought. A bouncer sent out towards second. Teeter's going to go to first with it as Adrian was stealing second on a hit and run. And so no chance to get him as the lead runner. They take the easy route to get DeConte, but with one out, there is a runner in scoring position for Colin Sala. Sala singled and scored in the first inning. Just to finish the thought about what's happening tomorrow at Kiger Stadium, the doubleheader against Central Point has been moved to a single 9-inning game. The start time has also been pushed back. It's now a 6 o'clock first pitch against Central Point at Kiger Stadium. As the first pitch to Sala, curveball misses high. Above the letters, count is 1-0, maybe a touch outside as well. It is also youth baseball night on Sunday, or I suppose kind of a quasi one. It's wanted to get as many kids as we can out to the ballpark. All kids 12 and under get in for free on tomorrow night against the Comets as the 1-0 pitch misses inside, 2-0. Falcons are also accepting donations as they prepare for a state tournament appearance on the coast next week and in hopes of making it to a Northwest Class A regional again this year. That would be in Casper, Wyoming. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Finds the outer third of the plate. About belt high to Sala. Poor works back into this at-bat, 2-1. So all's to say, if you want to support the Falcons at all this year and you haven't been out to a game yet, tomorrow is the time to come on out and see them. Last game of the season, last home game. Last game for P.J. Safford, Colin Tacchini, and Ian Meyer in the basin. Ground ball sent out towards short, and it winds up underneath the glove of Sims at shortstop, and then the throw home is cut off by Meyer. Base hit will score Adrian, and it gives the Knights a 3-0 lead.
Moral of the story, get them while they're hot. Kiger, tomorrow, last chance.
It's a great opportunity to come on out and see these boys. All right, Troy Riley stepping in now. And again, that was ruled a hit off the bat of Sala, so give him the RBI as well. And Troy Riley, who's 0 for 1 today, bats with a runner on and 1 out in the inning. 3-0 Knights in the the bottom half of the second inning. Pitch in. Misses in. Counts 1-0. Riley, like we said, one of the team leaders offensively for the Knights.
He leads in doubles with 17. Also he leads in RBIs with 48 and home runs with 6.
Like him batting in that 3 spot. Kind of the guy who you count on to do a little bit of everything. Drive the ball with guys on. And, well, the Knights have had no problem getting guys on today, especially after that RBI single from Sala. Pitch in. Sala's on the move. The pitch misses high, and the throw winds up above the head of Teeters, and luckily Sims is there to back up the throw. But Jacoby Tacchini not able to place that throw well enough. It allows Sala to swipe second, and now Riley bats with a runner in scoring position and still 1 out and ahead in the count 2-0. Pitch on the way from Poor as he comes set. An aggressive lead out at second by Sala. Poor takes notice of it, but then delivers a strike to the plate to Troy Riley. Fastball about knee-high on the outside third of the plate. Maybe a nice frame job from Jacoby behind the dish as well to get a strike for Hayden. And the count's 2-1. Teeters keeping the runner close, but then retreats back to his standard playing position as Poor misses low with the curveball.
Another fact about Troy Riley, he leads the team in at-bats with 129. He's played all 40 of their games.
Love to have him in the lineup, especially with the way he stuffs that stat sheet. Pitch on the way from Poor. Again, a miss high and a walk to Riley. Puts 2 men on here with still just 1 man out, and the cleanup hitter, Sawyer Sala, due up here. Looks like we had a little bit of motion in that Falcons dugout, in the Falcons bullpen. Let's see, I believe that's P.J. Safford warming up for the Falcons out there in the bullpen. So, see how much longer of a leash Poor has here in the second inning. Sawyer Sala was hit by a pitch and was left stranded at third in the first inning. Bats here from the left side. The first pitch from Hayden is fouled straight back. Count is 0-1 to Sala. On deck is Jackson Matthews for the Knights as they lead the Falcons 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Single game today here at the Coach K tournament in Medford. And again, a single game coming up tomorrow back at Kiger Stadium. Falcons, Hayden Poor set with the pitch. Curveball misses in. Actually, I think that hit the batter. Looks like it must have got his ankle or maybe his shoe or something, as for the second time today, Sawyer Sala is hit by a pitch. And for the second time today, him doing that loads the bases. Brings up Jackson Matthews. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say he's 2 for 2 being hit by a pitch today.
Yeah, it's okay the first time, but you start to feel a little bit upset the second time it hits you, I think. And now we're going to see Craig Connor come out of the dugout for the Falcons. We'll see if this winds up being it for Hayden Poor as he reloads the bases in the second. And it is Coach Connor taking the ball from Hayden, and P.J. Safford makes the jog in from right field. We'll step aside for 60 seconds, give P.J. some time to warm up, give you a statistical outlook on him when we come back as the Falcons trail the Knights 3-0 on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you are aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes!
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
PJ Safford, the new man out there for the Klamath Falls Falcons as he takes over for Hayden Poor with one out in the bottom of the second inning, a game in which the Knights lead the Falcons 3-0. For Safford on the year, he's making his 10th appearance, his 9th in relief this year. Safford has 18 2/3 innings pitched and an ERA of 1.5 entering play today. He has allowed 13 hits and struck out 24 batters in 18 2/3 innings pitched. He'll face Jackson Matthews with the bases loaded. Colin Sala at third, Troy Riley at second, and Sawyer Sala at first. So not a real desirable spot to take over in a ball game for PJ, but he'll have to work hard to try to get himself out of this inning. A base hit here could really widen out the lead for the Knights. They scored 2 runs in the first and 1 already this inning on the RBI single from Colin Sala, who stands at third. But
well, I will say this. If there's anyone to get us out of the jam, it's PJ Safford. He seems to really thrive under these high-pressure situations. He's kind of found his role as a closer this season.
Yeah, they've used him a lot of times in late-game situations, but I think maybe calling him in a little bit earlier than they wanted to today. But they're still going to rely on him to get him out of this bases-loaded jam, and he gets off on the right foot as he drops in a breaking pitch on the inside third of the zone to Jackson Matthews. Counts 0-1. Matthews is 0 for 1 today. He struck out back in the first inning. Safford toes the rubber, gets the sign in from Jacoby Takini. PJ set, surrounded by Knights at every station. The 0-1 pitch home, another curveball, and another called strike to Jackson Matthews. Safford relying on that bender here early. Danny Kasheshian is due up next for Reno.
Yeah, we talked about it. Usually it's fastball, slider, fastball, slider. He started with 2 curveballs.
Here's the 0-2. Misses up with that fastball. Curveball's become more of a weapon to him as he's gotten older. He used to be all fastball slider. That was where I first saw him when he first started his high school career, but now a recent graduate, Oregon Tech bound. He's added that curveball, and it's a dangerous one. The 1-2 pitch goes off speed again. This time a chance for Sims out at second. Goes to Teeters for 1. On to Meyer at first. And a 6-4-3 double play gets the Falcons out of this second inning, having only allowed 1 run on 1 hit and 1 runner left for the Knights. And they lead 3-0 as we go to the top half of the third next on mybasin.com.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
Top of the Falcons order due up this half inning as they trail the Reno Knights a score of 3-0. Carson Sims, Corbin Hamilton, Jacoby Takini set to go to work against Danny Kasheshian. Falcons feel like for them it's time to break through in this ball game. They've gotten runners in scoring position in each of the first 2. They've got 5 hits today, trying to break through against Kasheshian here in the third. And who better than the top of the order to try to get the job done as Carson Sims gets ready to lead things off. Coach Sean Teeters down the third base coaching side. Coach Joe Takini in the first base box. And Coach Craig Connor in the dugout today for the Falcons.
You know, I've seen it before earlier in this season where they've come out in the beginning of a game, and they haven't really looked like themselves. And then a couple innings in, they start to wake up and put some runs on the board. You know, you mentioned this earlier, but they have 5 hits.
Yeah.
You'd think that they would have scored having 5 hits in 2 innings.
Yeah, they've gotten caught at the plate a couple of times today, and, well, once a double play as well in the first inning was just a good defensive play by Reno. It's just, you know, you're right. You'd think at this point the Falcons would be able to manufacture a run, but still in search of their first. Down 3-0. The count to Sims is 2-0. This one is popped up behind home plate, but with a lot of foul territory. The catcher looks like he has room to put it away. Hunter can't quite get a read on that tough one as it falls gracefully foul, and Sims gets another chance here to lead off the inning. Carson on the season, a .398 hitter for Klamath Falls. That puts him 5th best on the team. And trying to lead things off here in the third. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to center field in the first inning and kind of just got gifted a second life up there on that pop-up in foul territory. The count to him is 2-1. Pitch from Kasheshian out of the windup. Off speed, misses high, and Sims works ahead here. 3 balls and a strike. I think part of that, Walter, you kind of talked about the team maybe getting off to a bit of a slow start today. It has happened a couple of times, but now we're getting the second time through the order, and we'll see if the Falcons have made any adjustments against Kasheshian the second time through as Sims hits a line drive to left field, although it's pretty much right at Matthews in left, and a fly out to lead off the third inning brings up Corbin Hamilton.
Yeah, you mentioned adjusting to Kasheshian. Personally, I don't know if it's all about adjusting to the pitcher at this point. I think it's about adjusting to the mistakes that you're making, the mental errors that you're making so far. And, well, a couple of times the Falcons have gotten unlucky this game.
Corbin Hamilton rifles one foul. Count is 0-1, hoping that something begins to break their way a bit. Hamilton 1 for 1 in the contest. He singled in the first, and I think you make a good point on that. Maybe readjust the aggressiveness on the base paths or something like that for the Falcons. Hamilton takes a pitch inside, misses inside, 1-1 to Corb as Jacoby Takini waits on deck. Hasn't been through lack of opportunities today. They've frankly swung the bat pretty well. Here's the 1-1 to Corbin. That one misses low despite a frame-up job by the catcher Hunter, still below the knees, and Hamilton works ahead here. I believe counts 2-1, or is it 1-1?
The scoreboard says 1-2, but I thought it was 2-1.
Hamilton hits a curveball the opposite way. That one is caught by Riley on the run. Had some backspin on that one and stayed up in the air just long enough for Riley to be able to track it down. 2 up and 2 down to start the third, and it brings up Jacoby Takini. Jacoby singled his last time up as well, and when Chase Barrett came in as a courtesy runner, Chase was left stranded in scoring position. And trying to get a 2-out rally started here for the Falcons is Takini. A .477 hitter takes ball 1 low. Count is 1-0. Takini on the season bats .477, a leader in a bunch of statistical categories, but right now just hoping he gets on base, which he does almost better than anyone on the team. 54% of the time he reaches base as he takes a pitch away there. Curveball dives away from the right-handed hitting Takini. And Ian Meyer is due up next if the inning continues for the Falcons, who right now trail the Knights by 3 runs. Pitch on the way is called a strike. Fastball about thigh-high over the plate. Counts 2-1 to Jacoby.
Lots of area right in the middle of the field. They must really trust Kasheshian to make a play if it's hit right back up the middle.
He's shown his ability to flash the leather earlier today, but this time Takini hits one to right, and again Riley is able to track it down. 3 up, 3 down, 3 flyouts for the Falcons in the third as we go to the bottom half next. Klamath Falls trails Reno 3-0 on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
At Geno's on East Main Street, we're always ready for sports season.
And now is a perfect time to connect with us.
We're open every morning at 6:30, serving simply good food
for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We offer breakfast burritos and burgers all day, Italian family recipes,
monthly specials, amazing desserts, and of course, your choice of cold or hot beverages.
Call 884-6474 right now to place a food order for pickup or use DoorDash delivery.
Or best of all, come dine in with us.
Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Check out our full menu and all our activities at ilovegenos.com. Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Danny Kasheshian, Donovan Licata, and Hayden Hunter do up this half inning against P.J. Safford for the Reno Knights as they lead the Klamath Falls Falcons a score of 3-0. The bottom of this third inning. Safford working into his second inning of relief. We can close the book on the Falcons starter Hayden Poor. Give you the final line score on Hayden, who in 1 1/3 innings worth of a start gave up 1 hit, but he walked 4 batters and hit 2 more, allowing 3 runs, only 1 earned. Safford came in the second inning, quickly produced a double play to leave the bases loaded, and the Falcons searching for more clutch pitching here from P.J. Safford. Danny Kasheshian ready to step in now. Kasheshian walked in the first inning, but doing so with the bases loaded earned him an RBI as Safford goes with the bender to start out this at-bat. Front door to Kasheshian, gets ahead 0-1. Safford working briskly out there as Kasheshian steps back into the box. Safford goes with a fastball, and it's fouled off from Kasheshian. Count is 0-2 to the Knights pitcher, who for his part, through 3 innings pitched so far, has allowed 5 hits and no runs. Kasheshian calls time before this 0-2 pitch and has a quick chat with his third base coach before the 0-2 pitch.
After the 3 up, 3 down, I'm kind of wondering where Kasheshian is at in terms of pitches.
Kasheshian has thrown 44 pitches.
Not bad.
Yeah, he's been pretty efficient. Falcons, like I said, they've hit him around a little bit, 5 hits, but he's kept them off the board, which is obviously the ultimate mark of a good pitcher. A guy who came in today leading the team in wins, 6-0, has pitched the most innings for him on the season, and already through 3 innings, you can see why. He's throwing the ball well. All right, ahead of an 0-2. Kasheshian steps back in. Pitch from Safford misses up by the hands. The fastball not going to get Kasheshian to chase there. Counts a ball and 2 strikes. Donovan Licata is due up next. Safford delivers and nearly hits the batter with the pitch, but the curveball has enough bite to avoid him. Safford runs the count even, 2-2. Now the pitch again to Kasheshian. Another curveball misses high. And after getting ahead 0-2, Safford works the count full.
Yeah, Safford's curveball has had a lot of break today, I've noticed.
The 3-2 home, misses high, and Safford delivers a leadoff walk to Kasheshian, and it brings up Donovan Licata. For the Falcons pitching staff today, now 5 walks, as Licata singled his last time up, and he drove in a run in the first inning.
5 walks in the bottom of the third.
Atypical, but Falcons defense has been able to turn 1 double play already today. See if they have another in them. If Safford can produce it. A bunt shown by Licata, but he pulls back. Did he go around? No, it doesn't look like he did. 1-0 the count. Jacoby Tacchini going to go out and have a quick chat with Safford, and as he does, we'll remind you today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Klamath Falls Subaru. Want to give the gang another quick shout from Klamath Falls Subaru on Washburn Way, stepping up as the Falcons bus broke down a couple of games ago. They've stepped up to donate vans and transportation to get the Falcons to the state tournament next week on the coast. So big shout to Rob Cedar and the gang at Klamath Falls Subaru. The 1-0, another bunt attempt, this time foul down the first base side from Licata, and the count is even. Safford works against the second baseman for Reno. Due up next is their catcher, Hayden Hunter. Small lead off of first for Kasheshian, only about 2 steps off the bag. But Safford throws over anyway, and Kasheshian's back safe. For Reno today, They've got their 3 runs on just 2 hits. One of them was from Licata earlier in the ball game. Another bunt and another foul ball down the first base side. And now it's 1-2 to Licata. Bunt likely off here as Safford can go right after the hitter. After the leadoff walk, runner at first. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning of a 3-run ball game.
You know, I recognize that ump from yesterday, the base paths ump. His safe sign is pretty unique.
Is it?
Yeah, he goes. He has about 2 inches. He has about 2 inches of break on his safe sign.
Here's the pitch in. Safford gets a swing and a miss on the pitch in the dirt. The curveball placed it well that time for Safford. Low in the zone, broke away from Licata. Got a swing and a miss for the first out. And it brings up Hayden Hunter. Oh, pardon me. Looks like we got a pinch hitter. Let's see. Looks like Oliver Cook getting ready to hit now for Reno. Not sure if he'll come in and replace Hunter on the defensive end as the catcher, but Oliver Cook getting his first chance to hit here. We got any numbers on Cook there, Walter?
Well, let's see. Oh, wow. He's up near the top in terms of leaders in batting average. He's batting .383 on the season through 38 games played.
Hunter exits the game, at least for now, after going 0 for 1. He flew out to right field in the first inning.
Well, it's a big team. I'm sure they got lots of talent.
Yeah, they've got pushing 30 guys on their roster.
That's 3 separate teams right there.
Here's the pitch. It's called a strike. Count is 0-1. A fastball hits the outside part of the zone to the left-handed hitting Cook.
Do you know how many AAA teams there are in Reno?
I don't. 24 guys, by the way, on the roster for Reno. I was just counting. I know that this program has got like 3 different teams. This is Reno Knights Gold. There's also Reno Knights Red, Reno Knights Blue. But we were kind of talking about that the other day. It's sometimes hard to find details on these state associations, but with how spread apart everything is in the state of Nevada, that's like a 90% desert state. I'd be curious how they work that out. The pitch called a strike. Count is 0-2 to Oliver Cook as Safford has gone with that fastball away, then fastball in to the lefty. Pike Adrian is due up next.
You think they get ready for, if they're playing a team, a district over there, like, oh no, guys, we got to go across town. The traffic's going to be terrible.
Well, it's either that or like what I found out last year in the Falcons trip to Alaska is Alaska Airlines is actually a sponsor of the Legion organization. Hold that thought. Ground ball to the right side. Teeters up with it in the gap. Makes a tough throw against his body to Meyer, but it's in time. There's 2 outs, and the runner Kasheshian advances into scoring position. Just to finish that thought about the Alaska team last year, the Legion Association there, the airlines associated with the programs, because a lot of those teams actually have to fly for their league games because things are so spread out in the state of Alaska. You hop on a plane to play a team in your league.
Jeez.
So I'm not sure if it's like that in the Nevada Association, but it's not unheard of.
Well, Reno is a pretty big town.
It is. It's just one of only about 2 significant cities in the whole state, or 3, I suppose.
That's true.
Pike Adrian with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs in the inning. Chance to try to extend this lead for his Knights. Safford trying to keep him put. First offering, drops in a curveball again. Nice pitch there on the inside third. Gets it above the knees. Safford works ahead of Adrian, the number 9 hitter in the Knights order. We go back to the top next for Daniel DeConte. Not much of a lead off of second for Kasheshian. Safford takes a look out there, but now motions home. Fastball dips low. Counts even, a ball and a strike to Pike Adrian. Like I said, he walked his last time up and scored when he led off the second inning. Safford gets the signal in from Takini, now set again. Here's the pitch. Nope, Safford steps off and takes a look back at Kasheshian at second. Teeters is in the neighborhood, trying to keep him close. But Kasheshian not afraid to just continue inching off that second base bag with the lead. I don't know if you can see it on their stream, but the first base coach for Reno kind of mimicking the amount of lead he wants his runner at second to take. Kind of an interesting approach because the runner at second that first base coach is kind of in his line of sight all the time. That's not something I've ever really picked up on before, but it's working out for the Knights here. The 1-2 count to Pike Adrian, and Safford comes set again.
That's a great observation.
Here's the pitch. It's a slider waved at and missed. Safford kept that one in his back pocket for when he needed it, and he sets down Adrian on strikes to get himself out of the third inning. The Knights still lead 3-0 as we go to the top half of inning number 4 next on mybasin.com.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides, or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Ian Meyer, Colin Tacchini, and P.J. Safford do up this half for the Klamath Falls Falcons as they trail the Reno Knights so far today, a score of 3-0. We enter the top half of the fourth. Let's go ahead and check our line score for our two teams so far today as Kasheshian gets ready to work his fourth inning of a start this afternoon. For the Klamath Falls Falcons, who trail the Reno Knights, let's actually start with the Knights who lead this one. 3 runs on 2 hits. They've committed no errors for the Falcons today. No runs, 5 hits, 1 errors for the Basin 9. As again, Meyer gets ready to lead things off. Meyer flew into a double play to end the first inning. Hit a comebacker right to Kasheshian, who gloved it, turned around, and threw out the runner who was kind of stuck dead in his tracks at second. So Meyer put a good swing on the baseball, trying to do it again here to lead off the inning.
Yeah, I just want to point something out real quick. If the Falcons had the same ratio of hits to runs as Reno, they'd have 15.
Yeah, it's been tough to come by runs today for the Falcons. They've gotten runners in scoring position in 2 of the first 3 innings, but haven't been able to cash in quite yet. Meyer blasts one foul the opposite way. Count is 1-1 to Meyer. And again, Colin Tacchini is due up next for the Falcons. Meyer, one of the guys who graduating out of the program after this season. Your last chance to see him in person playing for the Falcons is tomorrow night. The game against Central Point, a single 9-inning game set for 6 o'clock to benefit the Falcons as they get set to make a trip to the Single A State Tournament this year on the coast in North Bend. Need to raise some funds for hotel rooms and food and experiences and the like. So an opportunity, like I said, not only to see these boys for one final time, but financially support them if you're able to give. Is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, single 9-inning game against Central Point. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Ian Meyer. Meyer again fights one off foul, and the count remains even to Ian Meyer. 524 hitter, leading the team in average coming into play today. Second on the team in OPS as well, 1.179. Here's the pitch to Meyer. That one comes in and hits him. By the way, I'm pretty sure he leads the team in that stat as well. He's been hit by the pitch 9 times this year, and Meyer extends his team lead in that category.
Double digits.
Oh, yeah. That was his 9th time right there.
All right.
So 9 hit by pitches for Meyer. He'll see the on-base percentage boost up a little bit as Colin Tacchini gets ready to step in here. Like I said, that was about the only stat I led my team in high school, so I want to make sure that one gets read out for everybody.
Gotcha.
Pitch
personal.
It is. Pitch to Colin Tacchini, misses wide, 1-0. By the way, Oliver Cook did stay in the game, take over catching for Hayden Hunter, so something we were curious about there, but it is Cook behind the dish for the Reno Knights as Coach makes his way back out onto the field and onto the mound to discuss things with the pitcher for Reno. talked quite a bit about the state tournament coming up for the Klamath Falls Falcons. It begins Wednesday. Looks like they're going to have the early game on Wednesday in North Bend. We'll have all the coverage for you, all state tournament long for the Falcons right here where you've got us now, 104.3 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. If all things go right for the Falcons, they'll be playing all the way through Sunday for a state championship before the regional begins in August in Casper, Wyoming. Falcons, of course, last year were able to make it to the Single A regional, Northwest Class A regional, and were runners up there against a team out of the Bitterroot Valley in Montana. So, interesting thing about the regional this year, we have a moment to talk about it. 2 Oregon teams guaranteed a spot at the regional, the state champion and the state runner-up. Montana had that opportunity last year. They sent 2 teams to the state tournament, and, well, one of them was the winners. But Oregon gets that opportunity this year to have 2 teams sent off to the regional. Pitch to Colin Takini. He's ahead in the count 0-1. He lifts that one foul. The count's even, a ball and a strike to Colin.
You know, looking at the Knights' size prompts a question in my head. Is there a limit to how big a team can be, or can you just load up on pitchers and because that's the number one thing, right? Is making sure that you have enough pitching.
Well, my thought is if this is gold, what's going on with red and blue?
True.
And how big are those teams too?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about you got a lot of baseball players in Reno, I'm sure, but yeah, it's a pretty big roster. Count 1-1 to Colin Takini. Here's the pitch, misses up by the hands. Counts 2-1. One thing that I thought was cool when I got married in Reno a couple months ago, and so when we were down there, we had some time to kill in the hotel room. I thought it was super cool. They had high school baseball on cable television there in Reno. Flipping through the channels, I was just able to watch Reno High School, and thought that was a really neat thing. Of course, we're able to do it online for free and kind of produce a similar quality product with our, score bugs and all that type of deal. Mm-hmm. But pretty cool that it was just on straight-up cable television down there. So a pretty big deal is Reno baseball.
Yeah, big deal. Big baseball fans down there. They have a minor league team down there that you like to watch, right?
Yeah,
the Aces?
The Reno Aces. I got myself a hat. And now that my Major League Baseball team is homeless, I've been actually following the Aces quite a lot this year as Takini takes a pitch upstairs. And that will be a walk. Meyer advances to second. 2 men on to lead off the inning. Brings up the tying run to the plate here in the top of the 4th. It's P.J. Safford. Safford started the game as the designated hitter, but stays in the lineup, taking over in the pitcher's spot. Safford 0 for 1 in this ball game today, though he grounded out in the second inning, and it looks like this will be the end for Danny Kasheshian. Second meeting for the coach out here in this top half of the 4th. So we'll step aside, give the new arms some time to warm up for the Reno Knights as they still lead the Klamath Falls Falcons a score of 3-0 on 104.3 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
New pitcher on the mound for the Reno Knights in the top half of inning number 4, the right-hander Kyle Davies. Taking over in this one for Danny Kasheshian.
Kyle Davies, a 2-1 pitcher. He has an ERA of 2.78. He's also pitched 27.2 innings this season, so not crazy volume, but pretty good for being on a team this size.
Yeah, middle of the pack for a team this size in terms of pitching output. Did hear that he pitched in the Knights opener today in their win against the Southern Oregon Hooks. Pitched against one batter, got one out. So highly efficient, it seems, is Kyle Davies. He'll inherit a situation with 2 men on and nobody out. Ian Meyer out at second, Colin Takini aboard at first, and P.J. Safford up at the plate as the Falcons trail 3-0. Safford continues to watch Davies here warm up. He's 0 for 1, grounded out in the second inning of this one. Davies seems to be in a mix with a fastball. Looked like he had a little bit of a curveball slider action. Didn't see him mixing a changeup, although sometimes that velocity difference is tough to tell. But regardless, see if Safford got a good look at him as he steps up here, representing the tying run as we approach the halfway point of this ball game.
Yeah, Davies, not really a starter. He hasn't started any of the games that he's pitched in, but he's much more of a reliever.
They like him in these spots. Corners come in, protecting the bunt against Safford. He shows bunt, but the pitcher steps off and looks Meyer back to second. And so, seems like the idea here for the Falcons is exposed, try to bunt over those couple of guys into scoring position. The shortstop solid, keeping Meyer close at second. Not much of a lead over there. As the pitch home, Safford shows bunt again and lays it down the third base line, but it's foul. Count is 0-1 to Safford. After PJ in the order is Trustin Thomas for the Falcons. And this kind of spot that Safford hits in, this 6th spot, has been used predominantly this season to kind of set up the bottom third of the order. He's been in these situations a lot this year with runners at first and second and being asked to lay down a bunt to try to tee up the bottom third to knock some guys in. Overall, this season, Safford's done his job well. They're asking him to do it again here. The 0-1, and again, the pitcher steps off to look back Meyer.
I've seen players show bunt and then pull back and rip one. Is that not done because of bad sportsmanship or just because it's hard to do? Or
I'd probably say the latter more than the former for sure. Safford shows bunt late, but misses that one. Yeah, but might have got a piece of it back into the catcher's glove, but regardless, there's going to be 2 strikes on Safford. And the bunt certainly off now. Outfield playing deep on the right side. Safford has been known to go opposite field. Knights playing him as such. Count to him is 0-2. Davies set, takes a long look at Meyer at second. Now motions home. Safford checks his swing, and they're going to say he went around. And so one out in the 4th brings up Trustin Thomas. And Thomas 1 for 1 in the ball game today. He singled back in the second inning.
I don't know. Pretty close play. I didn't think that he really went around.
I thought he might have held up in time too, but no appeal to the base umpire, so I suppose no questions asked. And Thomas in a role to try to pick up Safford here. Pitch in from Kyle Davies is a slider, misses low. Count is 1-0 to Thomas. Guy that the Falcons like to have up in these spots. A lot of RBIs this year. One and 0 the count to Thomas, and again the pitcher steps off, looks Meyer back to second. Real concerned with Ian out there is Kyle Davies. Meyer's got decent speed around the bases. Maybe not the fastest player on the team, but he runs the bases smart. He's got a pretty good lead over there, so I can see why Davies is concerned with him. Pitch to Thomas. The 1-0 is a ground ball up the middle into center field. They put the brakes on Meyer at third, and so they're all loaded for Ty Teeters. Colin advances to second. Trustin aboard. He's now 2 for 2 today. And Teeters a chance to drive in the Falcons' first run of the ball game. He's already 1 for 1 today when he singled in the second inning.
Yeah, Teeters not the most powerful hitter, maybe not the flashiest hitter either, but he's been really solid all season long, and you can trust him to make the right decision.
What I like about Ty is typically he's going to see a few pitches. He's going to try to wait for one that he likes and drive it. Typically puts together a good at-bat as he takes a pitch low there for a strike. Looked like a bender about knee-high. Count is 0-1 to Ty. Harley Hoblet is on deck. There's only one out in the inning, and the Falcons have the bases loaded. Meyer at third, Colin Takini at second, and decent speed with Trustin Thomas at first as well. Here's the pitch to Teeters. Checks his swing on a pitch that misses low. They check with the base umpire. They say Ty did hold up in time that time. And so count is even at a ball and a strike to the Falcons' second baseman. Ty, a .408 hitter this season. He's knocked in 18 runs this year. And the pitch from Davies is called a strike. Catches the outside part of the plate about knee high. Might have been off speed that time from Davies, but now Teeter's going to have to protect with 2 strikes on him. 1-2.
A couple of good pitches from Davies.
Staying out of the middle of the zone. He's been around the edges so far in this appearance. The pitch to Teeters misses low. Good take there from Ty. I think might have been a curveball again. Started about thigh high and dropped beneath the zone. And the count is even to Ty Teeters.
Good call by Blue as well. I was kind of afraid that was going to be called a strike, but it was close and a good call.
It's usually a good game when we wait until the 4th inning to talk about the umpires. He's been pretty consistent behind home plate today.
Yeah, he is. Kind of a smaller strike zone, too.
The 2-2 misses, 3-2.
There's been a lot of walks today. Now, I don't know. That's probably not just the umpire, but I think he plays into it as well a little bit.
Shrinks up the zone a little bit, but I think it's been pretty consistent, so I've been happy with it. I don't think either team has complained at all. He's done a great job today.
Yeah.
Full count to Ty Teeters. Bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch from Davies. Check swing, but Teeters got rung up on an inside fastball. There's 2 outs in the inning, and it brings up Harley Hoblet. Good pitch from Davies. Not much you can say else about that one. Inside fastball near the hands. Teeters wanted to swing, but he held up. That's a tough pitch to decide to swing at. Davies executed, got the strikeout. Now Hoblet has to come up with a base hit. The Falcons want to push across their first run. They trail by 3 in the top half of the 4th inning against the Reno Knights. Here's the offering to Hoblet. Curveball on the inside part, called a strike, about knee high. Again, that inside breaking pitch has been working against these right-handed hitters today for both the Falcons and the Knights. These pitchers have exploited that spot to a T. The count is 0-1.
Now you need to protect that spot now.
Hoblet awaits the 0-1. That one misses low over the plate, but certainly below the knees. The count is even to Harley Hoblet. If he finds a way to get on base, the lineup card turns over next for the Falcons with Carson Sims due up. Meyer led off this inning by being hit by a pitch. Takini followed it with a walk. Thomas singled to load the bases, but there's also been 2 strikeouts in this inning. Hoblet, even in the count, 1-1, fouls it back, 1-2. Trying to protect the plate here is Harley. He bats .344 on the season, 14 RBIs. Not a guy who strikes out a ton, but he's got 2 strikes on him here. Davies looks in, gets the signal from Oliver Cook, who sets the target. Looks to be inside against Harley, but the pitch misses up. It counts 2-2. Outfield shaded a little bit to the right against Harley. Thinking he might try to go opposite field here. A hit to the opposite field would likely score 2 with Colin in at second. Might be harder if he hits it into left field. But the 2-2. Here it comes. Hoblet pops one up, but it's straight fouled. And count again, 2-2. Harley putting up a great fight up there, making Davies work for it. And as this at-bat gets deeper and deeper, one of these guys has got to win this one. Harley, the ascending sophomore from Henley High School, chokes up a bit, digs back in. The 2-2 on the way is a ground ball up the middle. Up with it is the shortstop, Sala. He takes it to the second base bag himself for the force out, and that gets the Knights out of this 4th inning with a 3-run lead intact. We'll be right back with more Falcons baseball on mybasin.com.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local, community, engaged.
Klamath Falls Falcons trail the Reno Knights 3-0 in the bottom half of inning number 4. Due up this half for the Knights, Daniel DeConte, Colin Sala, and Troy Riley. That's the top of the Knights order against P.J. Safford, who since coming into this ball game has yet to allow a base hit. A leadoff runner got into scoring position after a walk in the third, but a couple of strikeouts kept him there. Safford made big pitches when it mattered most. Here's a line drive to right field, caught by Trustin Thomas. Kind of a tough ball to read, knuckling at him a little bit, but Trustin, sure-handed, makes the catch. One pitch and one gone in the bottom of the fourth.
Good fundamentals. He caught that with both hands.
Love good fundamental baseball. Not everyone gets taught or learns it anymore, but it's important stuff.
Well, who needs fundamentals if you can just have highlights?
And that's the problem. All right, first pitch to Colin Sala is called a ball outside, 1-0. Sala's had a great game so far today, 2 for 2. A run scored in the first inning. He also had an RBI in the second as Safford misses with the 1-0 low. Count is 2-0 to Colin Sala. Troy Riley is due up next. Pitch on the way from Safford is going to miss in. And the count is 3-0 to Sala. Safford falling behind the second hitter in the Knights order. Pitch on the way is floated over the zone for a strike. I think he dialed back the velocity to ensure that one made it across nicely. And Safford trying to battle back into this at-bat. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch, a check swing, but a called strike. Knee-high fastball on the inside part. And good couple of comeback pitches for PJ. 3-2. Here it is. Safford goes slider away, gets a swing and a miss. 2 gone in the fourth, and it brings up Troy Riley.
All right, 2 up, 2 down. This is exactly what the Falcons need. They need to get back on the offensive end and push a couple across.
Troy Riley due up here for the Knights. 0 for 1 today. Riley struck out in the first, walked in the second. Here's the first offering from Safford. Curveball. Strike 1. Nice placement there on the bender from Safford. Just sneaks it in the lower outside quadrant of the zone. The 0-1 on the way. Another off-speed pitch. This time Riley out in front of it, pulls it foul, and the count's 0-2 to the Knights right fielder. Sawyer Sala is due up next if the inning continues, but Safford working with 2 strikes on the hitter. Can go just about anywhere he wants to here. He's already got 3 strikeouts in the ball game. On the hunt for number 4. Here's the 0-2. It swung on and missed. He gets after number 4 there in the 4th inning. But the Falcons still trail in this one, 3-0, as we go to the top half of inning number 5 next on mybasin.com.
Boy, that's got to fire you up. Go Falcons.
Let's go.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Rob, why do you think so many families choose Subaru here?
Because they're built for real life here in Southern Oregon.
All-wheel drive, safety, and room for everything from kids to camping gear.
And we've got Subarus in stock, ready to go when you are.
Plus, we're locally owned and deeply involved in the community.
When you buy from us, you buy from a dealership that supports Klamath Falls. Stop by and say hi.
Friendly, local, and easy to work with. That's us at Klamath Falls Subaru, right on Washburn Way.
Top of the Falcons order due up in the top half of the 5th inning. It's Carson Sims, Corbin Hamilton, Jacoby Takini. So it looks like Kyle Davies still out there working for the Reno Knights. He came in relief in the last half inning, relief of Danny Kasheshian. Kasheshian, for his start today, just closing up the book on him. 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs. He walked 1 batter and did not record any strikeouts, but Davies pitched 1 full complete inning in the 4th and gave up a hit, got 2 strikeouts. So he's often moving through a solid relief appearance so far, but the Falcons trying to change that here as Sims digs in to lead off the 5th. He's 0 for 2 today, couple of flyouts in the 1st and 3rd innings. First pitch from Davies, off speed, misses up and away. Count is 1-0 to Carson Sims. For the Falcons today, no runs but 6 hits. They've left 5 runners in scoring position so far today. As here's the pitch, it's popped up but foul. Counts even to Carson Sims. Got runners to 3rd in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th innings. But so far, Reno has turned them away from scoring any runs. Count even to Sims. The pitch from Davies. Sims lines one to left field, down for a base hit in front of Matthews. Big turnaround first, but Sims will settle for the leadoff single, and that brings up Corbin Hamilton. Good way to start this one for the Falcons.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, the Falcons really haven't had much trouble putting the bat to the ball. It's really just making it count.
See if they can try to find a way to move a leadoff base runner over. Third time today the Falcons have had a leadoff base runner today, as Corbin Hamilton waves and misses at a curveball out of the zone. Count is 0-1 to Corb. He's 1 for 2 today. He singled and was left stranded at 3rd in the 1st inning. He also flew out to right field in the 3rd. Kyle Davies comes set. Sims with a decent lead off of 1st. And the pitch in. Drops in another curveball. Does Davies. That one called a strike as well. Count is 0-2. After Hamilton in the Falcons order, it's Jacoby Takini. Davies gets the signal in from Cook. Move over to 1st, and Sims dives back safely. Good move by Davies. Quick snap of the baseball.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked you the other day whether righties have overtaken lefties in terms of being able to pick off a runner without balking.
Pitch home to Hamilton. Line drive, center field, a diving effort. DeConte comes up empty, and Hamilton with a base hit despite a great defensive effort in center field. Back-to-back singles, and the Falcons are in business in the 5th. It brings up Jacoby Takini. Jacoby 1 for 2 so far today. Singled in the 1st inning, flew out in the 3rd. But like I said, back-to-back singles, and the Falcons well on their way to trying to break through in this one. By the way, it looks like Max Rogers has returned from the bullpen. Not sure if they were planning on using him here in the next inning, but he was getting some warm-up tosses out there, and he just returned to the dugout. First pitch to Jacoby Takini is weakly hit down the first base side. If that rolls fair, but it doesn't. Nice job by the catcher, Cook, to save that one from being an infield hit off the bat of Takini. But that was almost dangerous for the Reno infield.
Well, if there's anyone that the Falcons won up in this situation, it's Jacoby Takini.
477 hitter, team leader in RBIs, 61 on the season, team leader in doubles, 16 on the season. Trying to break through against a really good ball club in Reno. Lean on your guys who can do the job, and Takini's certainly one of them. Nobody out, 2 men on, and the 0-1 count to Takini. Here's the pitch from Davies. Curveball drops away, 1-1. Whole middle of this order really doesn't get any easier after him. True. Ian Meyer, you could make a case for him being the most dangerous hitter on the team. This 3-4 punch is lethal for the Falcons this season.
I was just going to say that, if not Jacoby Takini, next up is Ian Meyer.
1-1. Davies takes a look out at second. Sims leads off, although not much of a lead, to be frank, as the pitch to Takini misses low and away. Sims, usually with a lot of speed and usually a big secondary, but as this game has gone on and the Falcons still looking for their first run, just a little bit more conservative on the base paths. You want to keep Sims up.
Wind kind of picking up, still in to the infield.
Slow roller to the right side. First baseman comes out of position, makes the play to come up with it, but no play to be made at any base. And so it looked like he had tried to maybe go to Hamilton at second, but then lost it on the transfer. And so that'll go in as an error, and we'll load the bases for Ian Meyer. Sims to third, Hamilton to second. Call it an E3 that allows Takini to reach. By the way, Chase Barrett in running there for the Falcons as he replaces Takini on the base paths. Here's Ian Meyer. 524 hitter, Meyer 48 RBIs. The cleanup hitter looking to do just that here in the fifth inning.
Similar situation for the Falcons that they found themselves in last inning. Last inning, the bases were loaded with 1 out. Now there's no outs, so we'll really see if the Falcons can take advantage of it this time.
Davies set here. First offering to Meyer on the way. Meyer, ground ball. It's between the legs of the first baseman and into right field. Sims is going to score. Hamilton from second. They go to first to get Meyer, who took a big turn around the bag, and so they get an out anyway, but 2 runs come in. It's 3-2 the Knights score. Barrett advances to third, and he's the only runner who stays up as Meyer got pretty overzealous wrapping around first. And Coach Takini is going to give him an earful back to the dugout, and probably a deserved one. But Meyer comes up with a 2 RBI single anyway. Pardon me, I suppose that'll be an error. Went right between his legs. E3, and no RBIs on that play, and it brings up Colin Takini. Colin 1 for 1 so far tonight. Singled in the second and walked in the fourth. But a chance to tie the ball game with 1 out in the inning. Pitch to Colin, misses away, 1-0. Tough turn of events there for the Falcons on a 2 RBI swing of the bat there for Meyer. I suppose not RBI, but 2 runs batted in on the error. Meyer gets extinguished on the back end of it. See if the Falcons can keep momentum on their side despite that, as Takini fouls one off his own foot, and the count is even 1-1. P.J. Safford is due up next for the Falcons with 1 out in the inning.
Well, although Ian Meyer did kind of make a mental error there at first, he did his job, and he brought 2 runs in.
Put a ball in play, good things happen, I suppose. It's back-to-back errors committed by the first baseman as well for Reno. He's hoping for a chance to atone for his mistake as well.
I think the first error was committed by the pitcher, no?
I thought the first baseman was the one who came up with it, but regardless, Takini takes another curveball away. And Davies having trouble placing that curveball outside to the righties here in the late parts of this fifth inning. He falls behind Takini 2-1. Colin was thrown out trying to score in the second inning. Pitch in, misses in, and the count 3-1 now to Colin. All right. Infield now moving in a 3-1 count. Seems as though they've waited a few pitches into this at-bat to bring the infield in. But going to try to cut down Barrett, who stands at third on a hard ground ball in the infield, or at least disallow him from scoring the game's tying run. Pitch to Takini. Hit into the air, right field. Moving over is Riley. Barrett going to tag. He takes off for home. The throw in from right field is cut off and never makes its way home. A sacrifice fly and an RBI ties the ball game, and it's 3-3 in the top half of the fifth inning. Falcons get all 3 of them back here. Takini knocking in the run, and a big way to earn that run brings up P.J. Safford with 2 gone, and the base is empty.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake from the right fielder. He just kind of hit his cutoff man. I think he forgot that there was someone at third tagging up to go home.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he got a running start or had a lot of urgency to get the ball in, but the Falcons will take advantage of it as Safford again steps in with the bases empty. He takes ball 1 away, works ahead here of Kyle Davies. Safford, by the way, hitless in the ball game so far, grounded out in the second, struck out in the fourth. He's been efficient on the mound today for the Falcons since coming into the ball game as he takes another fastball off the plate outside. Count is 2-0 to Safford. Since coming into the game to pitch, PJ has thrown 2 2/3 innings without allowing a hit and 4 strikeouts. Pitch to Safford on the way. Swung over the top of the curveball. Count is 2-1 to the Falcons pitcher. Trustin Thomas is due up next. 3 runs this inning on 2 hits for the Falcons. They've been aided by 2 errors for the Knights. The pitch is going to miss low inside as well, just beneath the knees for Safford. Counts 3-1 here for PJ. Gets a little bit lower in his stance, trying to load up for this 3-1, but instead he'll watch an off-speed pitch drift away. Safford works a 2-out walk, and it brings up Trustin Thomas. Thomas 2 for 2 today. Singled in the second, singled in the fourth. And now we've got timeout called by the Reno coaching staff as Davies issued that walk with 2 outs. We'll see if they make a change. It looks like they may. I don't see anyone coming out of the bullpen, but they're calling off the first baseman, it looks like, to go change gloves. And there's going to be some changes afoot here for the Reno Knights. It's a tie ball game, 3-all here in the top of the 5th inning as the Knights take on the Falcons. We'll step aside for just a moment on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN. Expert care when it matters most.
At Pacific Power, we can't predict the future, but we're preparing for every possibility. With more extreme weather year-round, we're investing in an energy system ready for what comes next. By strengthening the grid, using smart infrastructure, and drawing from our diverse energy resources, we're not just powering today. We're designing an energy system that's built to weather tomorrow. Energy that makes powering your greatness possible.
Tate Robertson, the new pitcher into the game for the Reno Knights. The left-hander takes over in this one for Kyle Davies as he'll inherit a situation with a runner on and 2 outs in the inning. The left-hander from Reno, again, wearing the number 28, Tate Robertson.
Tate Robertson has a 2.25 ERA. He has a win-loss record of 3-2, and he's pitched 28 innings this year.
He'll have to face Trustin Thomas with a runner on and 2 outs. By the way, after Safford worked the walk, he is given a courtesy runner. It's Max Rogers aboard over there at first. Thomas 2 for 2 in the ball game so far today. Singled in the second, singled in the fourth. Got as far as third base his first jaunt around the bases, but hasn't been able to score a run yet despite earning his way aboard twice. He takes ball 1 on the inside here against the left-handed pitcher Robertson. Rogers good speed at first. Ball in the gap could score him. Ty Teeters is on deck. Here's the pitch from Robertson. 2-seam fastball drifting away from the right-hander, but a nice placement for that pitch makes the count 1-1 to Trustin Thomas. It's been good for these Falcons to face different kinds of pitchers today and throughout this weekend tournament. Getting to see a left-hander in Robertson and a pretty good movement on that 2-seam fastball, too. It's a completely different look for a righty versus a lefty. I mean, of course, all these pitches are, but that 2-seam fastball, especially coming out of the hand, is tough to pick up on. Here's the offering. That's another 2-seamer that misses upstairs and a touch outside to Trustin Thomas. Counts now 2 balls and a strike. Trustin on the season, like we said, he's got a 6-game hitting streak intact right now. Seen that average climb up over 300 today. Came in hitting .299. Don't have an updated number on him yet, but can certainly say after a 2-for-2 day, he's above 300 and swinging the bat well these last about 6 or so days for the Falcons. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Thomas checks his swing on a pitch that's in the zone anyway. Counts 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 runner on in a tied ball game in the top of the 5th inning. Rogers leads off of first. About 3 steps off the bag. They check over on him. Robertson throws back over kind of lackadaisically, but not enough to pick off the runner, but maybe just keep him honest over there. Rogers gets back out to a pretty similar lead, though. Pitch home. Thomas waves and misses at the two-seam fastball running away from him, and that will do it here in the 5th inning. But the Falcons score 3 on 2 base hits, and they've tied the ball game. Headed to the bottom of the 5th inning next on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you are aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Bottom half of inning number 5, and the Klamath Falls Falcons are tied with the Reno Knights here today, 3-all. P.J. Safford continuing to work out there for Klamath Falls. He'll go through the middle third of the Knights' order here in the 5th. That's Sawyer Sala, Jackson Matthews, and the pitcher spot, I believe, hitting in the pitcher spot is Tate Robertson right now. Well, let's see. I already am going to be corrected because we've got a pinch hitter to lead off the inning. Let's pull this up here. It is Cruz Kale due up this half to lead off the inning. So Kale getting his first look at Safford today. He'll hit in the spot of Sawyer Sala, who exits the game after being hit by the pitch twice.
Well, let's hope this one doesn't make it a hack trick.
Safford delivers the first pitch. Nearly did hit him, but the count is 1-0. What do you got on Cruz Kale over there?
Cruz Kale. Let's see, they got so many guys on the stat sheet. It's like needle in a haystack over here.
1-0 misses low, by the way. The count's now 2-0 to Kale.
Okay, he's a .286 hitter. He's had 35 at-bats on the year, slugging percentage of .371 and an on-base percentage of .468.
2-0 delivery from Safford. Misses that one high, and Safford begins the 5th inning in a 3-0 count to Cruz Kale. I believe it's still Matthews on deck over there. See if the Knights begin to get some of their alternates in here. There's quite a few to get through. Like we said, a roster of 24 guys, and the Falcons got a roster of 16, so kind of a disparity there, but can only have 9 on the field, I suppose. If there's any silver lining. As Kale works a walk, it brings up Jackson Matthews. Matthews 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first, grounded into a double play in the second.
Matthews, a .250 hitter, .438 slugging percentage, and an on-base percentage of .507.
Takes a strike, about a knee-high fastball on the outside part. Safford uses it to get ahead of Matthews, 0-1. And here's the delivery from Safford. That one's in the dirt. Throw down to second to get the runner advancing. A great throw. Tag applied. They got Kale, and the leadoff base runner is extinguished here to lead off the 5th inning.
There's the Takini I know.
After a couple of tougher throws earlier in the ball game, a return to form there. Taking the runner down, trying to advance on the pitch in the dirt. Good job by Takini, not only for the throw, but the recovery as well, having to get down and throw that one pretty much from his knees, and that one is called a ball. I think it missed inside to Matthews on the curveball, and so the count is 2-1 to the left fielder for the Knights. Safford now working back out of the windup. Here's the pitch, fouled straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes The count to Safford. Or pardon me, the count from Safford to Matthews. And it looks like, oh, nope, can't still quite tell who's up next. No, it is Robertson. Robertson is due up next in the pitcher's spot. The offering home, fouled back, 2-2. All right, Safford battling hard here against Jackson Matthews. He's got 2 strikes on him. Here's the pitch. Curveball popped up in the infield, foul territory. Jacoby Tacchini up and out of his stance, makes the catch, and 2 gone in the inning.
2 outs created by Jacoby Tacchini. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of good plays from the catcher.
Yeah, throwing the runner out at second. That fly ball, we always talk about how hard it is. And in fact, the Reno Knights catcher was faced with a similar play earlier in the ball game, wasn't able to get the same read on it that Jacoby did. And so there you see, Tacchini's able to make an impact defensively on this ball game, as he always is. It brings up Robertson with the bases empty and 2 outs. Robertson came into the game, took over the pitching duties, so he'll hit here in the 6th spot for the Knights. He only had to get 1 out in that inning, and it was a strikeout for Robertson. The pitch from Safford, led her high on the inside part, called a strike. Count is even to Robertson, and Donovan Licata is not due up next. We'll have a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for Reno, and we'll introduce you to him when he gets a chance to get up here. The 1-1 on the way from Safford is a curveball that Robertson was way out in front of. Count is 1-2. Robertson steps out, readjusts the tape on his bat, and now he's ready to go against Safford, who works out of the windup.
Chokes up a lot.
Here's the pitch, 1-2, a chopper to the left side, and not fielded cleanly by the third base coach. Tisk, tisk.
Come on, coach. Practice what you preach.
Soft hands, coach, soft hands. All right, Robertson stepping back in. You talked about him choking up a lot on the bat. I think that's one of the few reasons he made contact on that baseball. Here Safford comes back with the 1-2, and it's a swing and a miss on a pitch beneath the zone. 3 up, 3 down for the Knights in the 5th, and we go to the top of the 6th, tied at 3 on 104.3, 960 Sports, and mybasin.com.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
Ty Teeters, Harley Hoblet, and Carson Sims due up in the top half of inning number 6 as the Klamath Falls Falcons and the Reno Knights are tied today at Harry and David Field on, frankly, what's surprisingly been a pretty nice day out there. 88 degrees. The air quality index says that it's not too great, but as I look out, if I can see blue sky, Walter, there was not a bit of blue sky to be seen yesterday. I drove back into town, coming down the hill, and I had forgot what a blue sky looked like. It was crazy, but today's a nice day, so far anyway.
Well, when we were driving back, I was like, look at that, Josh. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's a blue sky.
Yeah. It was bad yesterday. We got reports as high up above 400 of AQI yesterday. But if you can see on our live stream in the very top right corner of your screen, you can kind of see the Rogue Valley Manor up there, clear as day today. You couldn't even make out the windows on that building yesterday. It was so bad.
You could barely make out the shape of the building yesterday.
Yeah. So it's been nice today. 88 degrees, a warm one to be sure in the Rogue Valley, but it's windy. Wind blowing in from left field, so in the faces of our fans, keeping cool. And, heck, we've been greeted with some pretty good baseball today between the Falcons and the Knights, tied up at 3 in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, we were talking in the commercial break, and I said this is the most excited I've been watching a Falcons game all year, and that's probably because it's the closest game that we've had all year, except for the SunWest Generals game.
That pitch called a strike to Teeters, by the way, 0-1.
Which was another AAA team.
Oh, you're exactly right. It's fun to win a lot of baseball games, but from a broadcasting perspective, I like these ones, if not even more. Pitch to Teeters, misses outside, 1-1. Now you just need to get the conclusion right, and that's with the Falcons winning. That's what we're waiting for.
I would agree with that take. That's not a hot take at all.
I don't think so. 1-1 to Ty Teeters. Here it comes from the left hand of Tate Robertson. It misses outside. Count is 2-1 to Ty. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game today. Singled in the second, struck out in the fourth. Trying to lead off this 6th inning. All 3 of the Falcons' runs came in the top half of the 5th. The pitch to Teeters, the 2-1, misses away, 3-1. The Falcons were aided by 2 Knights errors on back-to-back plays to be able to score their 3 runs. But they'll take any help they can get, quite frankly. It was enough for them to be able to tie the ball game and remain competitive against the 2024 Nevada State champions. Here's the pitch from Robertson. Called a strike knee high, and the count is full to Ty Teeters.
Center field shifted over to the right just a little bit. If Teeters could place one in left center field, he might have a base hit there.
Deep outfield, we talked about it a little bit at Harry and David earlier today. The 3-2 pitch is going to ring up Teeters. Strike 3 looking for the second time today. He's down to lead off the 6th, then it brings up Harley Hoblet next. Hoblet 0 for 2 today, has flown out once and grounded out once today. And I think we're about ready to go. Robertson stepped off for a moment, but now gets ready to face Harley for the first time today. Hoblet on the season, batting .344 for the Falcons. Here's the pitch on the way. Misses beneath the knees, probably a touch in as well against Harley. Count is 1-0. Hoblet's got some good speed. Ground ball in the infield, not guaranteed to get him. Falcons need a base runner any way they can find him, especially with the top of the order due up next with Carson Sims. Pitch to Hoblet. Ground ball up the middle. It is a diving stop by the shortstop, Sala, but no chance to make the throw. And just as we said, even a ground ball in the infield, Hoblet will find a way aboard, and he does. With 1 out in the 6th, we go back to the top for Carson Sims.
What an athletic play from Sala. He laid out for that one.
I think he might have honestly had a play had it not, I think maybe clipped the foot of Robertson trying to get out of the way of it. I don't know if it for sure hit him, but it looked like the ball slowed down.
I think it did, yeah. I think it ricocheted off of his shin or his calf or something.
Regardless, a leadoff base hit for the Falcons. Their 7th of the day. And, a 1-out base hit, and it brings up Carson Sims. Move over to first. Hoblet back safely. Sims so far today 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th, flew out in the 1st and 3rd innings. On the season, Sims a .398 hitter. Here's the pitch. Sims chops one back up the middle, but I think they called that a foul ball. And they did. A late foul ball call by the home plate umpire, but it did come out eventually. I think that one either hit off the plate or either hit Sims, perhaps. Regardless, count is 0-1 to Carson. Hoblet returns to first. There's 1 out in the 6th of a tie ball game. Corbin Hamilton is due up next for Klamath Falls, hoping that he can get up there with 2 men on and just 1 man out, but that's relying on Sims finding a way aboard, something he does about 50% of the time. Pitch home. Slider misses high. Count is 2-1 to Carson. When he singled in the 5th, by the way, he came in to score the game's first run for the Falcons. Hoblet with a pretty decent lead off of first. Robertson notices, throws over, but Hoblet again back safely. He's got about a 2.5-step lead. Hoblet hasn't stolen a ton of bases this year, but he's certainly got good speed. Here's the pitch. It is hit in the air to the right side. Riley makes the catch, and there's 2 gone in the inning. So it brings up Corbin Hamilton, who's 2 for 3 in the ball game so far today. Hamilton singled in the first and the 5th inning to go along with a fly out in the 3rd. When he singled in the 5th, he would come in and score in that inning. Hoblet aboard at first. Hamilton's going to try to find a gap somewhere and see if Hoblet's legs can't give the Falcons a lead. They're tied up in the top of the 6th. First pitch to Corbin is a curveball that starts off the plate from the lefty but then breaks back over the dish. Count is 0-1. Good pitch there from Tate Robertson to get ahead of Hamilton. If Hamilton finds his way aboard, Jacoby Tacchini is due up next. Here's the pitch. That one is flared out to right field. Should settle down for a base hit. Hoblet turns second, heads for third. The throw is cut off by the shortstop, but doesn't go any further. Hoblet goes first to third on a base hit, and it brings up Jacoby Tacchini with a go-ahead run 90 feet away.
Another RBI opportunity for Jacoby Tacchini, just what his stat sheet needs.
Team leader in said category, 61 on the season. Hit one in the infield last inning that resulted in him reaching on an error. At that point, the bases were loaded for Meyer to clean up the rest. And the coach for the Reno Knights comes on out to have a chat with his infield. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Robertson has given up 2 base hits in this inning. I'd be surprised if they yanked him here. Frankly, although the Falcons have got a couple of hits off him, they haven't squared the ball up all the way yet. The left-handers kept the Falcons off balance, but a big at-bat in the ball game here with Tacchini due up. At decent speed at first, by the way, in the person of Hamilton. I'll be curious how aggressive, if at all, the Falcons get on the base paths here with the game, as it is right now, hanging in the balance. We see them get real aggressive at times, but play more conservatively as the game goes on. And I would think you err on the side of caution this late in the game. But we are playing a team from Nevada after all, so we might be gambling today.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Okay.
Jacoby Tacchini, he leads the team in RBIs, but we were looking at his numbers, and they're kind of crazy. I was wondering, do you think that he is any close to any Falcons records?
You know, I'd have to go deep into the record books, and truthfully, the record keeping is sometimes questionable past the last 5 or so years. Might have to make a trip to the Klamath County Library to see if we can't find any newspaper clippings. Tacchini lifts one in the air, shallow center field. DeConte has to run a long way to bring that one in, but he does. And that will retire the side. The Falcons get the go-ahead run to third, but they leave them stranded as we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Tied at 3 on 104.3, 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
At Geno's on East Main Street, we're always ready for sports season.
And now is a perfect time to connect with us.
We're open every morning at 6:30, serving simply good food
for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We offer breakfast burritos and burgers all day, Italian family recipes,
monthly specials, amazing desserts, and of course, your choice of cold or hot beverages.
Call 884-6474 right now to place a food order for pickup or use DoorDash delivery.
Or best of all, come dine in with us.
Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Check out our full menu and all our activities at ilovegenos.com. Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
P.J. Safford still out there working for the Falcons in the bottom half of the 6th inning, a game that is tied up at 3 between the Klamath Falls Falcons and the Reno Knights. Been exciting baseball today from everyone we've talked to up here in the box. Seemingly the game of the tournament so far as it being close. Had a lot of blowouts since we've been here in Medford, but tied up here late. It's been an exciting one.
I don't know. We might have a challenger or the next game of this tournament, the Mustangs versus the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, that'll be kind of a preview of the AAA state tournament. 2 teams that are guaranteed a spot, with Medford being the hosts and Salem earning a bid out of area 2. And so Get a little preview there.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Here's the first pitch to Donovan Licata leading off this half inning. He hits one high, deep to left field, but certainly foul. Wow. Nearly had a big bomb to lead off this sixth inning, but Licata a little bit out in front of that one. Pardon me, this is not Donovan Licata. We got a pinch hitter here for the Reno Knights.
That was a big bomb.
We got number 33, who is missing from my official lineup card roster.
Is that allowed?
You know, what I'm going to assume happened is Coach handed me this lineup card and then scribbled 33 somewhere else on here, so he's legal. But I unfortunately do not have a 33 on this roster on his official lineup. The 0-1 is going to miss outside, 1-1 to the leadoff hitter here in the sixth.
You know, sometimes players get
1 second, I think we're about to find out who this is. Oh, nope, I missed it. Go ahead, Walter. Ground ball up the middle, up to second. Teeters ranging over in the gap, makes the throw to first. It's in time. Now go ahead, Walter.
Are you sure?
I hope so. I don't think anything else is going to happen.
I'm going to go with the two-strike approach here and make it quick.
Okay.
You know how sometimes players get drafted out of high school and they bounce around in the minors for a time?
Yeah.
Well, this is a 19U AAA tournament. Do you think that a player could come down from the minors to play for a AAA team?
I don't think so. They would be playing high-level summer collegiate ball somewhere else.
Okay.
You know.
Sure.
Yeah, I would be shocked to see someone like that even play for the Medford Rogues, who typically call Harry and David Field home. But, you know, crazier things have happened. But once you get drafted into that league, you're pretty much playing through the summer anyway, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Even in, like, low A ball, fall ball and stuff, that takes up all your time.
I see.
0-2 the count right now to Oliver Cook, the catcher for the Knights. 0 for 1 today with a ground out in the third. The pitch from Safford, a checked swing and a called ball one. Safford looks around out there. Thought that was strike three, I think, along with everybody else except the guy that mattered behind the plate. Checked swing. Cook held up in time. That was the last bit of deliberation. Safford going to have to try to relocate strike three. The 1-2 home again. That one bounces to the plate. Maybe a bit of frustration from PJ out there trying to recollect himself. One out already in the bottom of the sixth. Tied at 3 between the Falcons and the Knights. All right. Safford from the windup. The 2-2 misses up. 3-2. Pike Adrian due up next for the Knights. Safford trying to find his center once more after getting ahead 0-2. Runs the count full. The 3-2 is a bouncer towards the right side of the infield. Teeters up with it on 2 hops. Quick throw to first in time. 2 up, 2 down in the sixth.
Good play from Teeters there. He had to cover a lot of ground for that one.
Brings up Pike Adrian for the Knights so far today. He's 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the second and struck out in the third. Safford has been efficient since coming out of the bullpen so far today, trying to stay that way and bring a tie ball game to the seventh, but a deep fly ball to left. Hamilton moving back in the shadow of the scoreboard. He makes the catch. And another 3 up, 3 down inning. That's 9 straight retired for Safford. And we move on to the top of the seventh next on 104.3, 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Middle of the order for the Falcons due up in the top half of the 7th of a tied ball game between the Reno Knights and the Klamath Falls Falcons. Ian Meyer, Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford due up. I was asking around, for those who might be curious, it seems like no extra innings to be played today. So after 7, one of these teams is going to win or we're going to have a tie. But with one game still left to come tonight at the Coach K tournament between the Salem Dodgers and the Medford Mustangs, that game, I believe, is scheduled for a 7:30 start, somewhere in there. Might have been a 7 o'clock start, to be frank, but they're not going to hit that at this rate. Regardless, no extra innings, I guess, is my grander point here. So after this 7th, one way or another, this game will reach a conclusion. Ian Meyer to lead off the top half. Left-hander Robertson still out there for Reno.
So what you're saying is that the Falcons have to score here, or else it will be a tie or a loss for them.
Right, yeah, they need to get a run here in the top half of this 7th. No more waiting. They got all 3 runs so far today in the top half of the 5th. They were aided by a couple of Reno errors, but still able to capitalize. Part of that was because of the ball that Ian Meyer hit. Meyer hit a ground ball to the right side that resulted in an error, but also resulted in 2 runs scoring. Unfortunately for Meyer, he was also backpicked at first on the same play, but trying to atone for that mistake. Here's the 1-1. Meyer shoots one to the right side, but foul. Count is 1-2 to Ian. Aside from reaching on the error earlier, he was also hit by a pitch in the 4th and flew into a double play in the 1st inning.
Josh, I can feel the suspense. I can almost feel my veins right now.
It's been the closest game this deep into a game the Falcons have played yet. Meyer fouls a pitch off there. Count is still 1-2. I mean, for a team that plays a lot of games that end in a mercy rule, this is great playing experience for the Falcons today. This is their closest game since the 4th of July, which was a 3-2 win against the Riverhawks. Meyer bounces one to the right side. The first baseman, Solon, knocks it down. The foot race to the bag is won by the pitcher, and it's a 3-1 put out to lead off the 7th inning, and it brings up Colin Tacchini next. Colin, so far today, has an RBI when he hit a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. He also singled in the 2nd and walked in the 4th. Colin tasked with one out and the bases empty, trying to start the rally that leads to a run. Colin on the season, a .369 hitter for the Falcons as he steps in against Tate Robertson. Robertson has almost gone one entire trip through the order since coming out in relief. This is his 8th batter faced since coming in relief. Count is 0-1 to Colin. It's a two-seam fastball working for the lefty. He comes set with the 0-1, and now the pitch. That time the two-seamer runs away from Tacchini. Count is even. Along with being a .369 hitter this season, Colin second on the team in doubles with 11 on the year, and has also driven in his fair share of runs. Tasked now with, like I said, getting said rally started. Pitch to Tacchini, swings and misses at the inside. I think slider maybe that time from Robertson. Looked like it had a little bit of running action to it. Count is 1-2 now to Colin Tacchini, and P.J. Safford waits on deck. Set is Robertson, and the pitch home is waved at and missed. The inside pitch got Tacchini to swing over the top, and he's the second casualty in the 7th. It brings up P.J. Safford. Needing a 2-out rally for the Falcons. They lean on Safford here. He's 0 for 2 today, though. He grounded out in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. He did reach on a walk, though, in the 5th inning. Seeing if he can't put a good swing on the baseball here. Safford hits .350 on the season. Although 26 of his 28 hits have been singles, he's got 1 double and 1 triple so far this year as he takes the first pitch in on the hands. Count is 1-0. If you're curious for Reno, who's due up in the next half inning, it's the top of their order, 1, 2, and 3. 1-0 to Safford. Curveball nicely broken off by Robertson in the zone. The count is even, 1-1. Hasn't thrown that curveball a ton, at least not that I've seen. He's relied a lot on the slider for his breaking pitches, as that one misses high and away to Safford. 2-1 the count. If Safford finds a way aboard here, Trustin Thomas is due up next. All right. Robertson gets the ball back, toes the rubber, looks in, gets the sign from Cook. Now the pitch. Ground ball foul, and the count is 2-2. Now to Safford. All right. Robertson taking his time out there. High leverage spot for the pitcher. He's got 2 strikes on the batter with 2 outs in the 7th. The pitch in is a bouncer towards the right side. It is picked up by the first baseman. The pitcher, Robertson, is able to cover in time. Had to do it twice this inning, but both times successfully. The pitcher with the out there. And the Falcons go down in order in the 7th. Going to try to keep this ball game tied here in Medford. Going through the top third of the order next. 3-all headed to the bottom of the 7th on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, and the Falcons trying to cling on to what would stand as a tie here in the Coach K Memorial Invitational in Medford, Oregon. Daniel DeConte, Colin Sala, and Troy Riley do up this half inning for Reno. PJ Safford continuing to work out there in relief for the Falcons. He's came in the game in the 2nd inning, and he has continued to throw well all afternoon. The first pitch to DeConte is hit foul. Count is 0-1. Check of the line score so far for Safford as he looks to close out this game in the 7th inning. 4 2/3 innings pitched. No hits so far. He struck out 5 batters. Here's the 0-1 from Safford to DeConte. That one's hit sky high to center field. Hoblet coming in. He will make the catch for the first out. Now it brings up Colin Sala, who is 2 for 3 today. A couple of singles came in the 1st and 2nd innings. He also added an RBI in that 2nd inning. But against Safford today, he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 4th. Safford, by the way, just threw his 59th pitch as well in 5 innings of work today. He's kept the pitch count relatively down. He's been efficient, and he starts out 1-0 to Colin Sala. Pitch from Safford here. Misses above the letters. He's missed high. He's missed low. Safford behind in the count 2-0. Troy Riley is due up next for the Reno Knights. Safford out of the windup. Here's the pitch to Sala. That one is hit in the air right side, but well fouled. And the count is 2-1. Sala started the game at shortstop today. He's played there all day long. He's made a couple of nice defensive plays, but now tasked with doing with the stick. He sends a line drive to center field, and he does just that. It settles down in front of Hoblet, and the winning run is aboard for Reno with 1 out in the 7th, and it brings up Troy Riley. And for Reno, this is the guy they want in these spots. Riley, great hitter for this team, and if you ask the guys in the third base dugout, he's due. Hasn't had a hit yet today, and he struck out both times on the season. Riley is a .388 hitter and leads the team in RBIs. Decent lead off of first for Sala. Has to put on the sliding mitt. Here's the pitch from Safford. Curveball drops beneath the zone. Runner takes off for second. The throw down is not going to be in time. Sala takes second on the pitch in the dirt. Not a bad throw by Tacchini, all things considered, but hard to recover when a pitch misses down that bad. And runner into scoring position now for Riley, and a base hit could be the ball game as Riley digs back in, ahead in the count 1-0. Safford steps off. On deck, if Riley can't get the job done, I believe is Cruz Kale. Safford set to Riley. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounder towards the left side. It is through and into left field. Sala gets the green light. The throw in from Hamilton takes Takini up the line, and the Reno Knights are walk-off winners in the bottom of the 7th inning as they defeat the Klamath Falls Falcons 4-3 here in Medford. We'll step aside here for 2 minutes. Wrap this one up for you next as we continue your coverage this afternoon of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local, community, engaged.
Josh Eldridge and Walter Hartley back with you today from Harry and David Field, side of the Coach K Memorial Tournament. The Klamath Falls Falcons got the short end of a great baseball game today against the Reno Knights. A 4-3 loss today for the Falcons. 4 runs on just 3 hits today for Reno. They committed 2 errors. For Klamath Falls, 3 runs comes on 10 hits. They commit 2 errors today. The winning pitcher is Tate Robertson, who pitched 2 1/3 innings. Did not allow a run. He allowed 2 hits, though, and struck out 3 batters. The loss, despite a great effort today, was P.J. Safford, who pitched 5 innings in relief, allowing 2 hits and a run. It was the walk-off winner in the bottom of the 7th inning. Safford also collected 5 strikeouts despite the loss. A couple of notables today for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Corbin Hamilton finished 3 for 4 today with a run scored. Ian Meyer knocked in 2 runs today when he hit a ball that resulted in an error. No hits for Meyer, but he does knock in a couple of runs today. Colin Takini 1 for 2 with an RBI. Tristan Thomas was 2 for 3 as well. 1 hit each for Carson Sims, Jacoby Takini, Ty Teeters, and Harley Hoblet. Adds up to 10 today for the Falcons. Left quite a few runners on base, though. Left 8 runners on base in this ball game and wind up dropping this one 4-3 to Reno.
Yeah, I think this was a good game for the Falcons headed into the postseason of, rounding out this season. It's a good high-level ball game. They did lose, but they gained some experience that they haven't had, some challenge that they haven't had all season long.
This loss does drop them to 4 losses on the season. They're now 32-4 on the year, but a chance to get back and get right tomorrow in the final regular season home game of the year against the Central Point Comets. 6 o'clock first pitch. We hope to see as many of you out there as we can. It's another youth baseball night as the Falcons look to raise some money for their upcoming bid to the Single A state tournament. Again, a 6 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night, youth baseball night. Bring the family and hopefully open your pocketbooks and be generous to the Falcons as they need to raise some cash to make this trip next week. Otherwise, this about does it for us today. I want to thank everybody involved with making today's broadcast possible, both head coaches and everybody up here in the box with us. Also want to thank you for joining us for another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball. Back tomorrow evening at Kiger Stadium at 6. But until then, for my partner Walter Hartley, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Saturday evening, and so long from Medford, Oregon.